Positions of the Pirates live at 3 o'clock. Brandon Laauo will join me, and then right after that, Ryan O'Hearn. And of course, we react, drop everything that we're doing because the history-making news of the Steelers, reportedly, according to Adam Schefter of ESPN, just after 1:30 today, the Steelers will hire Mike McCarthy as head coach, the former coach of the Green Bay Packers that beat the Steelers in the Super Bowl some 16 years ago, and then most recently from the Dallas Cowboys. 62 years old. Mulsey, you know, this obviously just because of Father Time screams of a short-term hire. I mean, is it possible, you know, the Steelers are telegraphing kind of the things that I think that you've been calling for quite some time, and that is maybe we do rebuild this, even though the rhetoric of the owner has been contrary to that. Because otherwise, what kind of long-term vision, especially when you look at the Knoll hiring, the Cowher hiring, and of course the Tomlin hiring, those were meant and intended to be hirings for decades, not a handful of seasons. It's hard to envision 8, 9, 10 years for Mike McCarthy on the Steelers sideline, which would obviously put him at 72 years old. So, you know, that window, if it's a short window, and I'll relate it here because I'm a baseball guy to baseball terms, is it a John Russell hire, right? Where we're going to pull this thing down.
Is that really what you want to do today? I will say that it is a hire that looks like if Mike McCarthy is here for more than 5 years, I would be pretty surprised. It goes completely against the young, defensive, never been a head coach before formula that the Steelers have used for their last 3 hires. It just feels very much like a refusal to turn the page on their part, a refusal to acknowledge that which pretty much every other team in the league has at one point or another had to acknowledge, which is sometimes you have to get a little bit worse to get a lot better. The New England Patriots are living proof of that. They just seem like they hired a guy that they think can get more out of whatever quarterback they have on this roster as the starter next year, and that can help them compete. And I think it's a very short-sighted way of going about it, Dan.
Chris Mueller will take the wheel completely at 3:20 as we conclude and wrap up our Pirates Fest coverage. Top of the hour, we are scheduled to interview Ryan O'Hearn at 3:10. Before that, Brandon Laauo, and then Mulsey, we'll kick it over to you. Obviously, you've shared your thoughts and opinions on it. What's going to be a historic show for you to do in your career and the station? What does that look like? So, of course, fans, we urge you to just keep the radio dial rusted to 93.7 The Fan here over the next half hour. And then, Chris, I get it back to you, and I'm just curious as to how you envision this show sounding.
I think it's going to be a lot of angst from fans. I know it's going to be a lot of frustration from me. I think frustration from fans as well. I think most people reacted the same way when they heard Mike McCarthy was a candidate and had an interview, which is they thought it was either a courtesy interview or almost kind of like a chuckle-worthy thing. Like, well, he's from here, you know, he eats at the same bars and drinks beers in the same places a lot of listeners to this station do. So I expect a lot of frustration. I am actually working the logistics to make sure that you're hearing from some other fan hosts while I'm on the air up until 6 o'clock tonight. I think Adam Crowley will be heard from working on Andrew Filipony. When Andrew Filipony is out of the office for some reason, tends to be when big news breaks in this town in sports. So working on him from New York City at some point. Might get Donnie Football. I know he is busy calling a basketball game on one of his other side kind of little gigs. So we'll try to get him locked and loaded here. Going to look into some local insiders who cover this team. Just getting them to hop on. It's going to be a very rapidly moving show, Dan. I expect to hear from a ton of Steelers fans. I am open to doing that, obviously, at 412-928-9370. And I find it to be best to do these shows thusly. I'm going to get my basic thoughts out there pretty quickly to start. I have a lot of different angles that I will be bringing up throughout the show, but the team that never hires and fires head coaches, once they hire them, they're here for a long time. They pretty much never fire them. Mike Tomlin stepped away, to be very clear. They've actually done all this stuff. They've actually had a head coach step away. They've hired somebody else, and it's, I think, probably the guy who was last on most people's lists. So I'm going to let the people have their say because I do not think there are a lot of happy campers in town right now.
All right, Chris, we'll talk to you and turn it over to you at 3:20.
Thanks, Dan.
All right, Chris Mueller, again, he'll take the wheel on the breaking story reported by Adam Schefter at 1:30. Steelers head coach is Mike McCarthy, just the fourth since 1969. We'll shift back into baseball here coming up at 3 o'clock. Brandon Laauo will join us. Ryan O'Hearn after that to the big acquisitions for the Pirates. Two of the biggest in quite some time in what has been a big-time offseason as we continue our second day of Pirates Fest coverage. Do stay with us on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
But only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Insurance companies often have a basic strategy: delay, deny, defend. Some try to grind you down, but they have another tremendous weapon, a software called Colossus. They know which attorneys are great and which are not so great. They know who is likely to take the last offer and who will take them by their scalp, kicking and screaming to trial. They know that they have to pay some firms early and fairly. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. The insurance companies have done their homework. Before you hire a lawyer for your injury case, do yours. Visit forthepeople.com and see our settlements and verdicts for cases like yours. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. When you hire the wrong firm, you may be beat before you start. All law firms are not the same. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Morgan & Morgan, 603 Stanwyck Street, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania lawyer will handle Pennsylvania cases. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Sports don't stop for the weekend, and neither do we.
We are going to have so much fun this weekend.
Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan, Pittsburgh's hometown sports station.
The Steelers have reportedly hired Mike McCarthy as their fourth head football coach since 1969. That coming your way from an Adam Schefter bomb dropped just after 1:30. Wrapping up our Pirates Fest coverage, I'm Dan Zangrilli. We heard from Chris Mueller. He'll take the wheel at 3:20, and it will be wall-to-wall Steelers talk. So do not go anywhere. We do have a couple of interviews. 3 o'clock, Brandon Laauo. 3:10, Ryan O'Hearn. Two big acquisitions the Pirates made this offseason to speak to here before we put a ribbon on our Pirates Fest coverage. But Jason Mackey, who is now the Pirates beat writer, a couple of months ago he was a columnist, and he's been keeping his finger on the pulse of the Steelers. And you hear him on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan with me here at the Convention Center to give his immediate reaction to that. I do want to also get your thoughts here on Pirates Fest. You talked to a number of players here, your biggest takeaways from some of the items that you learned from Pirates players. But we begin, of course, with the historic A-block lead story. That is Greenfield's Mike McCarthy, named the fourth Steelers head coach since 1969 per an Adam Schefter report.
Stunned, Dan, and I think that does a disservice. We were upstairs. It was the talk of the media room before and after player interviews. That they might have landed on McCarthy, I didn't rule out. That they landed on McCarthy without talking to two of the premium candidates, in my opinion, the front runner and Chris Shula, also in my opinion, really, really shocking. I thought McCarthy maybe as an OC, I would have been okay with that, but McCarthy as the head coach, very, very surprised. I don't love it. I've yet to find somebody who does love it. So many ramifications. What's it mean for OC? What's it mean for Aaron Rodgers, et cetera? But just first blush, man, I thought they could have done a lot better.
I guess the question then, all right, following up on that is why? Explain.
It's a great question.
So,
I wish I had that answer.
Yes.
I think it's because it's the safe pick. I think it's because Art wants to probably, and I'm projecting, but you have guys like Cam Hayward, TJ Watt, they're pretty far down the line in terms of their career. The one plus I will say, and where maybe Art's head is going, is that he does help offenses. He does help quarterbacks. They need to figure out the quarterback position, and I like Mike McCarthy for that. But you're not striking the right tone with your team. It's universally hated right now. So maybe there's some comfortability there. I know there's been a lot of respect from the Rooney family to Mike McCarthy. I talked to Mike McCarthy this summer for an Aaron Rodgers column. He emphasized that a lot, the relationship he's had with the Rooneys. I just don't see this as the best thing for the organization right now.
All right, we'll dovetail into some Pirates talk as we await Brandon Laauo at the top of the hour, and then Ryan O'Hearn at 3:10 before Chris Mueller comes in, and we go wall-to-wall Steelers coverage here on your home for the best Steelers talk. Jason, some of the big takeaways. You've been here 2 days, Pirates Fest, talked to a number of Pirates players. Your biggest aha quote, moment, news item.
O'Neal Cruz. And it's not necessarily one quote, Dan. It was the attitude. It's what he projected to us. It's how he's carrying himself. It's what you want to see from O'Neal Cruz, in my opinion. Sort of grasping how serious this year is for him. Outside of the interactions with the players, this has been a consistent subject of conversation with them, but how dynamic this bullpen can be. The stuff, Mason Montgomery coming in and throwing 100. Maybe it's some recency bias because we just got finished with Kyle Nicholas and Justin Lawrence, but two guys that I think could really factor in there. Obviously omitting, Gregory Soto, Dennis Santana, Isaac Mattson was yesterday, Carmen Majinski, who knows where he fits. But there's a lot of really good arms there that I think Donnie Kelly's going to get to play with.
All right, stay with us. Coming up next, we'll have Brandon Laauo joining us live on the phone, then Ryan O'Hearn at 3:10 before we give Chris Mueller the wheel to take you the rest of the way with Steelers talk as we truncate some of our Pirates Fest 2026 coverage here from the Convention Center. Special thanks to Jason Mackey. I'm Dan Zang, really returning in just a moment with Brandon Laauo on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
Night Moves, the ultimate tribute to Bob Seger, coming to Jurgles on January 28th. Relive the classics from the great Bob Seger, including hits and deep cuts. Night Moves at Jurgles, January 28th. Advance tickets are available at jurgles.com. Another Drusky Entertainment event.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Save more on the brands pros trust at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances and choose from our wide lineup of top brands. Plus, save $100 on a Little Giant 22-foot multi-position ladder. Now just $189. Built for strength, flexibility, and job site versatility. Pros, these savings will only be here for a limited time. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 1/30. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
HD1 Pittsburgh, an Odyssey sports station. Live from the Jim Shorkey Mitsubishi.com studios, North Huntington and North Hills. Always live and free on the Odyssey app. Now, fan headlines powered by Bowser Chevrolet.
Mike McCarthy, reportedly the next Pittsburgh Steelers head coach, according to multiple reports. We'll get to that at 3:20 with Chris Mueller. But before that, Dan Zangrilli with Brandon Laauo right now. For more, go to 937thefan.com. Fan headlines are powered by Bowser Chevrolet.
Keeping you up to date, even on the weekend.
Did you hear that?
Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan, Pittsburgh's hometown sports station.
Thanks for joining us. Wrapping up Pirates Fest 2026. What a couple of days it's been. We'll be shifting to Steelers Talk 320 with the report of Mike McCarthy as the fourth Steelers head coach since 1969. Jason Mackey here with me at Pirates Fest, but happy to be joined right now by the newest member of the Pittsburgh Pirates, perhaps the opening day second baseman, can play a little outfield as well, an all-star a season ago. Brandon Laauo is with us. Brandon, welcome to Pittsburgh. Thanks so much. And I believe this is your 93.7 The Fan debut, so appreciate you taking some time with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Can you describe your excitement to join the Pirates organization and help support this pitching staff with obviously the professional bat that you've brought to the league and your respective teams here for so many years? Now you get to do it in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, absolutely. The initial shock of it, once that all passed, of getting traded and being somewhere else the first time, you really got to kind of look at the staff and the guys that were on the team, even offensively, the guys that were playing the field. I mean, it's a really good group of guys that are extremely talented and just, needed a couple more pieces. And, hopefully I can be one of those pieces that, truly helps kind of shift gears for this team.
Yeah, last night we had an opportunity to meet and chat with one of the teammates that came over in that three-team deal, and Jake Mangum. He seems to be a real blue-collar Pittsburgh guy that'll fit in nicely. And anytime, as we talk about Mason Montgomery from the left side that can blow doors as he does, it seems to be obviously a great trade for the Pirates. But these guys as better than anybody. What are the Pirates getting in these two particular unique type of baseball players?
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head a little bit with Mangum there. Definitely blue collar-esque. He's going to fit in. The fans are going to love him. He's going to give every ounce of his energy that he can to the team and to the fans when he's out there playing. You're never going to have to question if, he's giving his all out there. And that's, a great thing to have and a great quality to have in a player. And, he's going to be, I always tell him to be that annoying at bat, be that guy that you never give it up. Just always compete every single pitch. And, he gets out there, he competes every single pitch, man. He's not going to give up. He's not going to give up an inch. And then you flip things to Mason, and honestly, Mason's kind of the opposite side of the spectrum of Jake on the, Jake's going to go up there and he's got to prove to you, the stuff doesn't just pop off the page. Mason throws 100 with 20-plus inches of carry and has one of the best sliders in the big leagues. Like, all of that stuff jumps off the page. So, fans can be really excited just looking at paper with Mason. He's going to come out and he's going to be absolutely electric on the mound.
Hey, Brandon, something we've been talking about with some of the players cycling through here in Pirates Fest has been just the depth of this lineup and how much that does for everybody. Guys hitting before them, after them. How deep do you feel like this lineup is, and as a hitter, how much does that help?
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like it's a great lineup. If this is the lineup that they roll with, I think it's going to be fantastic. And, if they keep adding on, there's always a thing in this game, and you can't keep – there's nothing – you can never be too good. You can always improve and you can always get better. So if we keep adding, great. But, if not, there's some really talented guys on this team, especially, in this lineup. You look up and down it, man, it's pretty good. Some of the names might not be the perennial, 7-time, 8-time All-Stars, but, knowing who they are, knowing what they can do, it's a pretty deep lineup. And when you're going up to the plate and you got somebody behind you that can do damage or, is going to take good at bat, that the pitcher can't take off anything, and he's got to stay focused 1 through 9, it wears on a guy. So you keep rolling out good at-bats and tough at-bats, and you wear a pitcher down, you'll find yourself getting some more mistakes.
Chatting with Brandon Laauo, recently acquired from the Tampa Bay Rays in the 3-team deal that sent Mike Burrows to the Houston Astros, coming over with Jake Mangum and Mason Montgomery. Brandon, the Steelers have reportedly named Mike McCarthy their new head coach, a fourth since 1969, which is an amazing thing. Are you an NFL guy, a college guy? How dialed into football are you? I mean, are you running 6 different fantasy football teams? Take me in onto that side of things for you if you're a football guy.
Yeah, I'm not running that many fantasy teams, and this is one of the few years that I've not been in fantasy. But I took a year off from any of that stuff, and kind of thankful I did. I'm a Titans fan, so a little bit rough for us this year. But honestly, just hearing that statistic, man, it's crazy to see how many head coaches have locked down Pittsburgh football for so long, and it's really insane. It's really kind of a cool thing to see, and Steelers football has got the history about it, and you've always seen them play. The colors, the stories of it all. So I mean, I'm excited to just kind of get into the city and knowing what kind of sports town it really is.
What do you make of the Robert Saleh hire then, Titans fan that you are?
I'm not too sure. I didn't think defense was the issue. I know that he's got to be good to get hired and, to be where he is in the league. So, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's see what he can do. I'm not going to make any adjustments now.
Well, I think your reaction to your head coaching hire in Tennessee is what many of the Steelers fans and, of course, Pirate fans are feeling right now. I'm not too sure. So I think you're endearing yourself already to Bucco Nation, Brandon.
No, I'll give them every chance they can to prove everybody else right, I'm not going to go out there and say that he's going to fail. And I'm not going to say he's going to do the greatest thing to come into Tennessee since, sliced bread. I'm gonna let him figure it out and let him go. We'll see what happens.
I like that. No, I like that. And I think Steeler fans should do the same here.
Brandon, I know changing gears just a little bit here, but I remember on your Zoom call talking about the relationship that your wife had with Blair Reynolds and getting kind of some intel on Pittsburgh. I'm curious more about you and Brian. Have you guys talked? Have you seen him? How's he doing? Have you worked out together? Just describe, what you guys are obviously going to be 2 very important parts of the Pirates. Just how has that come together this offseason?
Yeah, our relationship definitely has some space to grow. Brian is, he's a little harder to read when you first get to meet him and you're on the outside looking in. And currently I'm kind of there. We're far enough away that we're not driving and going to see each other after we work out or anything like that. And, he's got 3 boys running around the house. His house is loud and crazy as it is. So, it's one of those things that I think as we get to spring training and you start spending 8-9 hours a day with these guys every single day, it's going to happen naturally. It's going to be quick, but he's definitely helped kind of explain a lot of the things and show the way that the Pirates organization operates. And, it's nothing bad. It's all stuff that kind of makes you excited to be here.
Brandon Laauo, acquired from the Tampa Bay Rays, now a member of the Pirates. Brandon, welcome to Pittsburgh. Thanks so much for taking some time. We would have loved to have you up here at the convention center, but obviously you're battening down the hatches as we are too here with the weather, and I know that complicated a lot of things for a lot of people. So appreciate you hopping on the horn here to talk some warmer thoughts here as we endure 14-degree temperatures here at Pirates Fest, and we'll see you before too long down in Bradenton.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. Thanks you guys again. I'll have you on.
Thanks, Brandon.
There he goes, Brandon Laauo, acquired from the Tampa Bay Rays. And really, Jason, that made this team a lot better. I think it's one of the best deals the Pirates have made in years. I think it's one of the best trades that a baseball team this offseason has made, and that's league-wide. Nice for the Pirates organization to be on this end of the deal. I don't know what the Rays are going through financially, but it screams of deals, unfortunately, that we've seen the Pirates be forced to make in years past to be on the receiving end of this. And listen, Mike Burrow's a nice, controllable starter for sure. Very high upside, but 2 very controllable players with upside in Mangum and Montgomery return, and of course the 1 year of Laauo. Should the Pirates want to engage beyond 2026, that remains to be seen. But yeah,
also extended value with the guy we're going to talk to next,
right,
hopefully in Ryan O'Hearn. he had talked about he saw that trade, and that changed his mind about the Pirates. So there's a down-the-road figure as well.
Yeah, O'Hearn will join us here any moment. He's scheduled to come by the 2-year deal that he signed, and he cited, I think, in a question that either you or I asked about why? Because I think Ryan O'Hearn, professional hitter, track record that he has, had a few options out there.
Sure.
And he chose Pittsburgh. How or why that happened, outside of years, dollars, I'm sure the business element was right at the top of the list, but by how much would that fluctuate with, I would think, other suitors in the market? But Pittsburgh was able to win it fair and square, it sounded like. And one of the things that he did mention was the seriousness of the Pirates in this trade. And that kind of tipped the scales for him.
And I'm not sure that's something that's talked about externally as much as it should be, Dan. When free agents, I mean, they have a choice. That's the whole point of free agency. They can direct where their careers go. And so it's incumbent on the Pirates, and it's incumbent on every major league team to say, this is why you should play here. This is how you fit. This is how you're going to affect our lineup. This is our goal. This is our vision. This is how we're going to win. And then that trade opened up O'Hearn's eyes, and he was ready to go. And so let's hear his words instead of mine.
Yeah, well, he was ready to go in Pittsburgh. Now he's ready to go on the air with us. Ryan O'Hearn, one of the newer Pirates, joining us right now from Pirates Fest 2026. Ryan, appreciate it. Welcome to Pittsburgh. And this is your Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan debut, I believe.
Yes, it is. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, for sure, man. I know the weather sort of complicated things with a number of players. Would have loved to have you here in person, but totally get what everybody's dealing with logistically. So great to have this conversation. First off, are you a football guy? Are you a college guy? Are you a pro guy? Do you get into the fantasy football? Who or what is your team?
Yeah, I'm a Green Bay Packer fan.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you've been on Twitter here in the last 2 hours. Have you been on Twitter in the last couple of hours?
No. Are they talking about the helmet?
No. We're talking about Mike McCarthy was reportedly just named new head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers from Adam Schefter. So Green Bay fan that you are, right?
Really?
And,
okay.
Yeah. So your instant reaction here as a Packers fan to Mike McCarthy following you to Pittsburgh.
No way. I did not know that. Yeah, I mean, Mike McCarthy, longtime Green Bay Packer head coach, and then down here in Dallas. So very familiar with him.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're based in Dallas. So what do you got? What's the scouting report on? Well, he's a Pittsburgh guy. I'm not sure if you knew that. So he was born and raised about 3 miles from the city and the stadium. It's a little city town called Greenfield. So he is, as Ryan will call, and you'll become familiar with the term Yinzer. He's a Yinzer through and through. So what's your take there as a Wisconsin fan, as a Cowboys fan? Good hire by the Steelers?
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing it a long time. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was Mike Sherman, and then he was the head coach of the Pack for me as a kid when I was growing up. But, yeah, I mean, obviously, he's been coaching a long time, and that's cool. Coming back home, kind of a homecoming. So, I guess the guy's got to go play. I don't know.
Dan, you missed a funny moment this morning. You were on the air. And Ryan joined the Ask Management Q&A via Zoom. I think it was Zoom, Ryan, right? You were there via video conference or whatever, and he had a Green Bay Packers helmet over his right shoulder. And so Brownie was giving him some stuff about that, and then he slid over. He handled it perfectly. And kudos, Ryan. That was excellent. But I wanted to ask you about Pirates fans a little bit, too, and how excited you are to sort of embrace what's here, the expectations, the chemistry that you guys could have, the lineup that you could have. Just how excited are you to kind of get in the middle of all of that?
Yeah, but, well, I mean, absolutely excited. It was, for the first time in your career, you get a chance to choose where you want to play. And, obviously, there's some upside, in my opinion, to the Pirates. And, when I was making my decision, it checked a lot of our boxes. I think I can help the offense along with Brandon Laauo, Mangum, some new guys coming in. There's already great players on the team. So I think we're going to go out and surprise some people. And that's my goal, is why jump on board and join something unless you think that you can win. So definitely excited for this season, man. I'm getting the itch. It's weird looking outside and seeing ice and snow right now. I got my mind down on Bradenton, getting ready to go down there and meet the guys and get this thing going in spring training.
Ryan O'Hearn is joining us on the phone. I'll ask you this question again. I did at your press conference, but I think you had some other opportunities to sign elsewhere, but you chose Pittsburgh. Can you walk us through that process? I know you paid attention to what the Pirates did in the acquisition of Laauo, among others. You had a conversation with Donnie Kelly that you cited as really important. Can you give us some more details as to both of those items and any others that really made this feel like the right place for you and your family?
I mean, man, I've alluded to that the whole time, just talking about, the good things I see on the roster. I feel like it's a great city, it's a great ballpark, it's a great place to play. When we were kind of weighing our options, all those factors came into it, and it just felt like a good place for me. I think my vibe kind of matches with the team. It's guys that are hungry. Maybe 71 wins last year, but I think there's a ton of upside on the pitching staff, and then some really good players on the offensive side. So. Taking all those factors into consideration, that's what we do as free agents. You weigh out where you want to play, where you want to call your home stadium, the team, what the team might look like next year. And, as a free agent, hopefully you have options. I had a few options, and like I said, Pittsburgh checked a lot of the boxes for me. That in addition to speaking with officials from the team, it just they made me feel really welcome and like they really wanted me, and I think that's another big aspect. When you're trying to figure out where you're going to play, you want to go somewhere that you feel like, hey, this team really wants me, and I'm going to play a big role on the team. So those are that's how it went down, and I'm happy with my decision. I'm ready to get down to Bradenton and get this thing going.
Hey, Ryan, have you had a chance to talk to Paul Skeens yet? And as a sidecar to that, just what do you think about being on his side and not having to face him?
Yeah, he sent me a text, just brief, welcome to the team. There'll be plenty of time for that in spring training. I'm looking forward to meeting him in person, just as well as everybody else. And, yeah, man, you said it. Anytime you can have the reigning Cy Young winner on your team, that's a pretty fun thing to be a part of. And I know, obviously every fifth day that guy takes them out and you got a great chance to win.
All right, Ryan, what do you want Pittsburgh to know about you as we close things out for you here? Again, appreciate your time joining us. But you're obviously a consummate pro, but what else do Bucco fans need to know and learn about you?
No, I hope they enjoy watching me play. I'm going to go out there and play hard every day. I like to hustle. I don't like striking out. I really like to hit with runners in scoring position. And, the last few years of my career I've really enjoyed getting better. And I don't think I'm going to stop doing that anytime soon. I'm excited to play in that ballpark. I think the fans, once they watch me play, they'll hopefully like me. And I'm looking forward to meeting as many of them as I possibly can.
Ryan, thanks so much for taking some time. Appreciate you, and can't wait to get to see you in a Pirates uniform. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Ryan.
Ryan O'Hearn, Pirates first baseman, signing the 2-year contract as a free agent, and lengthens the Pirates lineup in a great way. All right. That'll conclude our coverage here from Pirates Fest 2026. We'll have plenty more digitally on our social channels, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We'll be working on some sizzle reels, some behind-the-scenes interviews as well. It goes until 5 p.m. today at the Convention Center. If you're in the area, download your free ticket at pirates.com. You have about 90 or so more minutes. But we now shift to the biggest news that has dropped perhaps in 93.7 The Fan history and in recent Pittsburgh sports history, and that is the reported news of the fourth head football coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, per Adam Schefter, at 1:30 today, reporting that the Steelers have hired Mike McCarthy, Greenfield's own, the 62-year-old former head football coach of the Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys, will be the successor to Mike Tomlin. So for our entire cast and crew here at Pirates Fest, I'm Dan Zangrilli. We now begin wall-to-wall coverage, your phone calls, and a cavalcade of guests with Chris Mueller, who is back in our Green Tree Studios to take the wheel starting now on this most historic Saturday. Malsey?
Now, fan headlines powered by Bowser Chevrolet.
All right, you've heard Dan Zangrilli right there say it. Mike McCarthy, the fourth Steelers head coach hire since 1969 per ESPN's Adam Schefter, as well as others. McCarthy, the candidate that the Steelers go with after a search that did not quite hit 2 weeks in time frame. In fact, 10 days or thereabouts since Mike Tomlin announced his resignation from the role. More fan headlines powered by Bowser Chevrolet at 937thefan.com.
Live and local sports news on the weekends? Imagine that. Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan, Pittsburgh's hometown sports station.
You know, it's been a winning era. We're always in contention. So I think when you start with that, you have the opportunity to take the next step. You know, I can't explain kind of the more recent history there. It's hard to explain given the overall track record. Frustrating for all of us, mostly for Mike. But all in all, you know, I'll take being in contention every year and having a shot at it. I mean, I'm not sure why you waste a year of your life not trying to contend. Obviously, your roster is what it is every year. It changes every year. And so you deal with, you know, what you have every year and try to put yourself in position to compete every year. And sometimes you have the horses, sometimes you don't. But I think you try every year. Number one, really, I think in my mind is leadership and really trusting that this person can stand up in front of your team day in and day out and hold their attention and have them motivated to do what they do. That's the most important. We turn to our search for our next head coach. Omar and I will lead the search, and we'll rely on others in the organization to help as we go forward. Look forward to getting started with the search and starting with the next chapter of Steelers football.
Yeah, the next chapter looks like a bleak one, since this is the decision that Art Rooney II and Omar Khan came to. The franchise that hires up-and-coming defensive coordinators, young guys in their 30s to be head coach, and has done so for their last 3 hires, bucks every one of their trends and hires 62-year-old offensive guy Mike McCarthy, Greenfield's own, yes he is, to be the 4th Steelers head coach since 1969. Good Saturday afternoon. Chris Mueller in for what I will call an emergency show. The Steelers don't ever hire head coaches. And so when they do, especially when it's pretty much the one guy no one seemed to want hired, I come on the air on a Saturday. I tell the wife and kids, sorry, Dad's got to go to work, and this is what we do. The number's 412-928-9370. I know many of you have already been lined up and ready to go, and I will get to you shortly. I will make some opening remarks here. We've got a lot going on today. It's going to be a very fast-moving show. We will try to get to as many of you as we can on this front. I've got Adam Crowley lined up at 4 o'clock. He's going to have some things to say about this. I've got Joe Starky going to come on to give his take at 4:30. Jeff Hawthorne is here. I expect to talk to Jeff maybe in the next 20 minutes or thereabouts, and still more to come after that. But this is a seismic event in Steelers history because, like I said, they don't hire head coaches very often, and I'll just say it's a terrible hire. This is no shade against Mike McCarthy personally. I think his record would suggest that he is a good coach in balance. If you give C's for average, if that's what you do the old grading system. If you're a C student, you're an average student. He's probably a B- head coach. He is remarkably similar in his recent track record to what Mike Tomlin is, a guy that tends to win more than he loses in the regular season and a guy who doesn't really win playoff games. From 2017 onward, he coached 2 years with Green Bay, got fired after week 13 with the Packers in 2018. Took 1 year away, went to Dallas for 5 seasons. McCarthy won 12 games in 3 straight years with the Cowboys. He won 1 playoff game in those 7 seasons. That's it. Or 6+ because he got fired midstream in Green Bay. He is a guy whose greatest successes were very early in his career as a head coach with the Packers. After some stops and starts, he won the Super Bowl. They got red hot. They beat the Steelers. They went 15-1 the next year and couldn't go back-to-back. Mike McCarthy's got about a 61 career winning percentage, 608 to be exact. He's won 174 games, and he's won slightly more playoff games, 11-11, than Mike Tomlin, who only won 8 in his Steelers career. I would give this hire an F. I am going to stand on business on this one. I said when he got an interview that I would give the hire an F. I am not moving off of that position. It is an F hire by Art Rooney II and by Omar Khan. I can think of a couple different things that this hire is to me. I think it's pretty uninspiring. The Steelers aren't taking any big risk here. The Steelers aren't looking for the next big thing in coaching. They aren't looking for somebody to steward and shepherd the franchise through the next decade plus. They're looking for a Band-Aid right now for a situation that requires far more than that, like full surgery and then rehab. They are looking for a tourniquet right now. They don't have one. They don't have a situation that requires a tourniquet. Mike McCarthy is the guy you hire if you think you have a team that is ready to win now and for whatever reason under the previous coach wasn't winning, has a quarterback in place, has a roster in place, and maybe needs somebody with experience working with fairly big-name quarterbacks to come in and try to push things over the hump. Honestly, he would have been better suited for the job in Buffalo if that's what you're really looking for. This is none of those things. This roster is none of those things. This franchise is none of those things. And Mike McCarthy seems like an ill fit. He frankly seems like they've gone from Mike Tomlin, defensive coach, to Mike McCarthy, offensive coach. No real other difference between the two. If you give me the option of watch another season of Mike Tomlin coach the Steelers or this, I would take watch Mike Tomlin coach the Steelers, even though I know how that movie ends. Because I'm pretty sure I know how this movie ends too. It is an uninspiring, unimaginative, and I think incredibly short-sighted decision by Art II and by Omar Khan. And it reeks on one level of, I think, Omar Khan going back in time to one of his buddies that he had when he was with New Orleans, when McCarthy was the offensive coordinator, getting the boast out of Aaron Brooks early in his coaching career, and tapping that guy to lead the way. It's also, I think, a consolidation of power by Omar Khan, because I don't think Mike McCarthy, despite a lengthy history as a head coach, is somebody who's going to be pushing back hard on whatever Omar Khan wants to do from a personnel standpoint. The Steelers had numerous options available to them in this coaching cycle. They picked the one nobody wanted. There are doubtless people who will prove me, I guess, somewhat wrong by saying, I love this hire, I can't wait for Mike McCarthy. I think you're going to be disappointed. In fact, I think that pretty strongly, that you're going to be very disappointed in what you get from Mike McCarthy. Where's the quarterback on the roster? Where's the offensive infrastructure for Mike McCarthy? Where's the young, explosive, cheap talent on defense? There's a couple spots, that's it. The Steelers hired a man to be their next head coach who, to everyone's collective knowledge, had a one other quasi-interested team in his services for that role. And he pulled himself out of that job search when it became evident that they weren't going to hire him. By the way, that team, the Tennessee Titans, for all its warts, does have last year's number 1 overall pick at quarterback. A guy in Cam Ward who, if you actually watched him, is the kind of player whose basic raw abilities you can dream on a little bit. And think about this. If McCarthy worked with early career Aaron Rodgers and then worked with mid-career Dak Prescott, why wouldn't the Titans want him instead of a defensive coach to work with Cam Ward? They must have been pretty underwhelmed, I would think, by Mike McCarthy, the candidate. You know who wasn't? Art Rooney II. I said Omar Khan influenced this. I think he did significantly influence it, but it is Art's hire, and it is Art's hire alone. It is what he will be remembered for. And unless people like me are incredibly wrong, and I'm quite confident that that won't be the case, he's going to be remembered for making one of the most uninspiring, lethargic, I would almost say lazy hires, even pandering hires in Pittsburgh coaching history across any team. That's how bad I think this is. Mike McCarthy might come in next year and somehow win 10 games because, I don't know, he doesn't have the Mike Tomlin voodoo where they win crazy close games. He's had losing seasons, a bunch of them. 6-10 after his first winning season. 7-9, 4-7-1 when he got fired by the Packers, 6-10 his first year at the Cowboys, 7-10. Maybe they go and actually don't win more than they lose next year. Maybe they win 6 games and draft a quarterback, and then maybe Mike McCarthy chills for 3 more years and starts developing that guy to be the next big thing for them. I don't see it, though. What I see in this hire is actually Art Rooney II deciding, no. My team really is good enough to win right now. We just needed somebody else. Mainly because the previous guy decided he didn't want to be here anymore. And going for the safest possible thing he could think of. Hey, look, he's from Greenfield. Cool. I don't think that's going to have the desired effect. Remember, too, this is the owner of the football team who said that he would have been happy to run it back one more year with Mike Tomlin, at least. So if you take him at face value from that press conference 2 Tuesdays ago, Art Rooney II thought things were okay enough to not make any kind of maneuvers with his head coach. His head coach had to force his hand. And he went out and found, frankly, in many ways, in terms of bottom line results, the coach over his last 7 seasons who most resembles Mike Tomlin. A disappointing hire. He's a different coach than Mike Tomlin, but I don't think he's any better. I think he might be worse. It's the 4th Steelers head coach since 1969. The 3 previous guys were really unknown commodities to one degree or another. All 3 of them won Super Bowls, at least one. I would be stunned if Mike McCarthy even gets within 2 games of a Super Bowl for however long he's here. A very, very disappointing hire, and it opens up a whole bunch of questions on the periphery of this situation, some of which might be pretty uncomfortable to have to ask if you're a Steelers fan. 412-928-9370 is the phone number. Many of you have been waiting patiently to sound off on this. Mike McCarthy is the new Steelers head coach. What say you about this decision? I actually didn't think it was possible. I convinced myself it was a courtesy interview. I did not heed Mark Kabali's words when he said he is a serious candidate. Kabali, if he's the kind of person who laughs when he gets things right, even if other people are unhappy about him, he's probably laughing today. And we might be trying to get Mark on the show as well. What do you think about it? Because I think it's one of the worst decisions this franchise has made in a very, very long time. 412-928-9370. We lead off with Starch in Butler.
Hey, Mulvey. This is truly one of the worst days in Pittsburgh Steelers history. I totally agree with you. You have to give this a grade of an F for this reason. We had the opportunity for change. It was a big deal to get rid of Iron Mike after, his success here. And so I think everybody was super excited about the fact that change was coming. We were not only getting a new coach, but we were going to perhaps wipe the roster, do a restart, and there was an excitement because of that. And what you've now done is completely deflated the fan base. They are trending towards the Pirates now, that mediocrity is okay. This was a very safe pick, but the guy is 62 years old. I don't think he really cares anymore. In comparison, you look at what our arch rival just did. The Ravens hired a guy who is 20-plus years younger, a guy who won a national championship at Michigan, has coached in the NFL for a while, a young, bright mind. The fact that we didn't give a guy like Chris Shula or Anthony Weaver or any of these guys, any of the Kubiaks, the Shieldhouse, none of them got the opportunity to lead us into the future. I'll end with this. If it's not painful, you're not growing. And the fan base was ready for a little bit of pain so that we could grow, and we've been denied that. And I am a season ticket holder, and I am furious. I'm not sure at this point how I am going to give tickets away next year.
Thanks, Starch. Good start today right there. I think that was well stated across multiple fronts. What did I tell you guys in the 9 days I think I counted we were on the air from the time at 2:05 a couple of Tuesdays ago that Mike Tomlin stepped aside as Steelers coach? I said the dark cloud immediately after Art Rooney's presser, the dark cloud hanging over the entire coaching search, as we all saw some names we liked and we saw some names that maybe got us a little excited that they were really going to go after somebody interesting for this job. I said the dark cloud is that Art Rooney II said he doesn't see any logic in stepping backwards to try to step forwards. And I said if he makes a hire, and McCarthy, I guess, is the closest thing to this. He's not a rebuild agent. He's somebody that you try to squeeze every last drop out of the roster you got with Mike McCarthy because you think he's the right change of pace. Just the fact that they are making a hire that makes it clear that they have no intention of really tearing this thing down is pretty jarring and is really disappointing. It just suggests to me that the owner just does not have any idea what this team is actually in need of. And that the general manager, it seems, went along with it too. Seth is on Long Island. Hey, Seth.
Hey, Mosey, how you doing, man?
I'm good.
Man, I don't even know where to start. That gentleman before Stark said it really well, but you've been saying it would be a disaster hire. I couldn't concur more. This is an unmitigated organizational failure where, to me, it just shows that, using your words again, you were looking for the mysterious box, right? You were looking for mysterious,
yep.
I think you said at some point. This is an unmitigated organizational failure that change is necessary. It should be what's going on. That's the way you grow. Sometimes you take a step back to go forward. It's happened to me in my own career. And I've been, I've been a Steelers fan for 5 decades. And this to me, I look at it and I say, Art Rooney, what is he, 73 years old, 74 years old, completely out of touch with the fan base, with himself. I wish his son was running the organization already. And, I certainly didn't want to see it run back. With these guys, I was open to change and not to not even meet in person with guys that supposedly blew you away and give them the opportunity. 62 years old. What's he going to? Is he going to go do all the things that Mike did and met all these candidates down at the Senior Bowl or whatever? Man, it's sickening. And
my question, Seth? Thanks for the call, man. Thank you. My question is just this: if his whole thing is that the elevator pitch from Mike McCarthy is very simple. You think he's really good with quarterbacks, okay? That's the elevator pitch. Hey, this guy's worked with good quarterbacks and they've had good offenses. All of that is true. That's objectively true. You can go look at Mike McCarthy's coaching record. When he coaches a team, they generally are good on offense. He's had Dak Prescott, who I think for the most part is one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the NFL. Like, I would still say a top 10 to top 8 guy when he's right. He was second in the MVP voting one of the years McCarthy was there. And he had Aaron Rodgers, who's an upper room Hall of Famer. He had the best version of Aaron Rodgers. Okay? Where's that guy? Where's that guy? How does that guy manifest and transport onto the Steelers roster for this year? He doesn't, because he doesn't exist. Because the most exciting guy athletically that's even remotely available to them would be Malik Willis. He is still a project to see if you can continue the development and the growth that happened under Matt LaFleur. Aaron Rodgers? Hell no. We already know what he looks like. We don't even know what he is at this age. And I don't think, by the way, that this ended on particularly great terms for those two in Green Bay. I think they needed to go their separate ways. If the elevator pitch is that this coach can get the most out of a quarterback, tell me where the quarterback is. Deshaun is in Pittsburgh. What's up?
I think you took the words right out of my mouth, Chris. This is a pretty lazy hire. It almost feels like we're trying to lure Aaron Rodgers back, which I can guarantee that 80% of Steelers fans do not want Aaron Rodgers back. And also, it just shows that the whole philosophy that Art Rooney has, I feel like it was just pushed upon Mike Tomlin. I feel like Mike Tomlin just dealt with a mediocre team and kept them above. I feel like Art Rooney, this is his whole philosophy, and it's going to continue to keep going downhill. And Mike Tomlin was just his pawn, keeping all the players afloat.
I'm not going to give Tomlin that much grace because I genuinely think he and Art were aligned in I can win it. We can win it this way. We can win it our way. And I think that was a case of the coach and the owner saw eye to eye on all these things, so there was never really any pushback. But what's most disappointing is, like, that was all supposed to end. Mike's gone. He said it. Mike himself told his players, you deserve better. So on some level, there was a recognition on his part, right, when he stepped aside, that it just wasn't good enough. To use his term, it would have been below the line work. The owner clearly didn't see the roster that way or anything else that way, or else we wouldn't be watching this decision get made. Got time for one more, and then we're going to take a quick break, get Jeff Hathorne's take on this. You guys at 412-928-9370 as well. Hit me up on Twitter at 937 The Fan. That's brought to you by South Hills Kia Peters Township. Visit them, southhillskia.net. 412-928-9370. Also, the Fan text line brought to you by Edgar Snyder & Associates, personal injury law firm. They always say there's never a fee unless we get money for you. Let's get Dave in Newcastle squeezed in here first. Hey, Dave.
Hey, what's up? This is the ultimate definition of a retread. Unbelievable. And this 9-year run without a playoff win is now – that's Art's. Art owns this. Let's make that clear.
Mm-hmm.
That's Art's record now. And something you guys were talking about the other day, just about, you were running it back out Tomlin and was letting the defense talk about how this was going to be, a historic defense and whatnot. That showed how out of touch and how bad of an evaluator that Tomlin was. And organizationally now, with Art okay running it back and us being here, it just showed they're out of touch. They are completely out of touch with what's going on in their own building and what's going on with the rest of the NFL. And the best case scenario is that he does not win, is that he actually has a losing season, right? But the problem is, will Art fire him? So, like, if this goes bad, how long is it going to take to get rid of this guy?
I want to know too, Dave, like, how long do they even intend for him to keep the job? Because when you hire somebody in their late 30s, and I'm not saying it had to be a guy in their late 30s, it could have been a guy a little older than that, but when you hire somebody in their late 30s, I think it's open-ended as to how long they're going to be on the job. You really does Mike McCarthy, and look at Pete Carroll, by the way, at like 73, he bombs out after 1 year with the Raiders. I don't care how much boundless energy he has. Does Mike McCarthy seem like in 10 years he's going to be a guy who's going to be high-stepping around the sidelines like Carroll did? I mean, this just, it is a hire that goes against everything that they have stood for in hiring head coaches as a franchise, and they want you to think that they are we're the head coach franchise. That's what we're known for. They make a hire that just flies in the face of all of that, and that's what's so disappointing about this. It's the least interesting, least inspiring name on there for most people, and it has telegraphed that they intend to try to run this back as close as they can to last year and win with it. And they're just not close. They live in a parallel, like the owner at the very least, lives in a parallel version of the NFL's reality, a parallel NFL universe to the one the rest of people watching them with eyes actually have and inhabit. 412-928-9370 is the phone number. What's your reaction to the Steelers, according to Adam Schefter and many others, tabbing Mike McCarthy to be their next head coach? 412-928-9370. We're going to take a quick break. Next person we're going to talk to, Jeff Hathorne, our sports director. He's covered this coaching search closely. He's in that locker room every day during the season. He's in those press conferences. He's got a great feel for all the decision makers involved. We'll get his reaction to this coming up next, plus more of your phone calls. Breaking news, huge news, per Adam Schefter of ESPN and others, the Steelers making Mike McCarthy their fourth head coach since 1969. We'll be right back on The Fan.
Now, Fan Headlines, powered by Bowser Chevrolet.
From the Pittsburgh Steelers Twitter account, quote, "We have verbally agreed for Mike McCarthy to become our next head coach." We'll be reacting to it more with Chris Mueller coming up next. For more, go to 937thefan.com. Fan Headlines are powered by Bowser Chevrolet.
Take a break and come out with us tonight.
Not tonight, man.
Come on. You deserve a night out. You're going to miss out.
Miss out on what?
While you stayed home, they won big. They celebrated. They got the suite, stayed up all night, and made memories. And you weren't there. Some nights are too good to sit out. Rivers Casino. Don't miss the moment.
Y108 presents Odyssey, The Night Before, powered by Bowser Chevrolet, starring Jason Aldean.
Hey, what's up, Pittsburgh? I'm Jason Aldean.
Wednesday, April 22nd, inside the Event Center at Rivers Casino, Pittsburgh. You can't buy a ticket to this show. You can only win your way in. Details at Y108.com. Brought to you by Broken Bow Records. Must be 21 plus.
Clear your calendar for a Colonial doubleheader. Robert Morris men's hockey hosts Holy Cross Friday and Saturday nights, and men's basketball tips off Saturday at 2 versus Green Bay. Get schedules and tickets now at rmucolonials.com. Let's go, Bobby Moe!
Must finance HMF low APR tier 1 through 2. Plus tax, acquisition fee, title, plates, and dealer dock fee. Must finance HMF dealer's choice for Santa Fe rebate. Not all buyers will qualify in stock units only. Offers end 1/2/26.
Shift into the new year with a new Hyundai from Mike Camlin Hyundai. Drive the new 2026 Hyundai Tucson or Santa Fe Hybrid, both available with 0.99% financing for up to 60 months or receive up to $1,500 in rebates.
MikeCamlinHyundai.com.
All Mike Camlin Hyundais are backed by owner assurance, America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles, and the Mike Camlin Advantage oil changes for life.
Paramount Plus is the new home of UFC, and we're coming out swinging with UFC 324.
Oh, what a shot!
And 325 on back-to-back weekends. The new era is here.
It's time!
Every fight.
Bam!
One subscription.
Oh my goodness!
Pay-per-view just got knocked out.
Let's go!
Back-to-back blockbuster UFC events this month only on Paramount Plus.
That's the sound of James adding long-lasting Gain scent boosters to his laundry this morning. Several hours later, James sniffs the irresistible scent of Gain on his shirt. Gain. Several hours later, James has even caught the attention of his mother-in-law, and she never gives him attention.
Ooh, you smell amazing, James.
Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too.
I never said that.
Add Gain scent boosters to your laundry. Add joy to your day.
The 65th annual World of Wheels Custom Auto Show, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts, January 23rd through 25th. Ticket Lawrence Convention Center, Pittsburgh. Discount tickets exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. See America's finest hot rods, customs, trucks, motorcycles, the cars of the stars. All weekend. World of Wheels Custom Auto Show, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts, January 23rd through 25th. Discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts stores.
At Bucko's Roofing, we're on top of it. Whether it's siding, roofing, windows, gutters, or insurance claims, you can count on Bucko's for quality customer service. Find us online and get a free quote today.
It's Pittsburgh's #1 roofing company.
Bucko's Roofing.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation. Baker's Waterproofing is now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
93.7 The Fan is cleared by aquickdrain.com. Live from the Shorkey Mitsubishi.com studios, North Huntington and North Hills.
Is Mike McCarthy going to be their next coach?
I wouldn't be shocked if he was.
Is he your betting favorite?
Right now, I would say yes. First of all, I think they're going.
I actually feel like Starky right now. Holy ostrich milk. Kabali was right. Kabali's going to join us in 50 minutes at 4:40 for 5 minutes. Adam Crowley at the top of the hour. Mike McCarthy is the new Steelers head coach. It's there. It's real. And it's not spectacular. Chris Mueller, an emergency Mulsey show. I was just on yesterday saying, do you trust Art Rooney II to make the right hire? That was literally the thesis question yesterday on the show. Most of your answers, no. No, I don't trust him. Well, you've been vindicated today. Fan weather, by the way, brought to you by Myers Law Group, Pittsburgh's choice for affordable legal solutions. It's cold, it's going to snow a lot, and so you're going to be in your house wallowing in this for most of Sunday. Jeff Hawthorne, our sports director, he is really the man at the station who, A, works the hardest, and B, covers all of these people very closely involved with this decision. Omar Khan, Art Rooney II, et cetera. Jeff is on the line right now. Give us a couple of minutes before he gets on with the rest of a very busy afternoon on his end. Jeff, just first thoughts when you saw the news that Mike McCarthy was getting this job, your first reaction?
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought they were at least going to wait to interview some Rams people in person, at some point early next week. So, yeah, not only the name, but the timing of it, that it came out the day before the championship games.
What does it say to you about the way the owner views this current situation, that he hires somebody that is the complete antithesis of the type of coach the Steelers have hired the last 3 times they've had to make one?
Yeah, and I don't want to shortchange the relationship that Mike McCarthy has with Omar Khan.
Sure.
I mean, it goes back to New Orleans. I think that's a tight bond. And I think this, and we talked about this the other day, Chris, I do think the Steelers sit and listen to the interviews better than any team, as far as giving everybody a fair shake, listening what they have to say. And obviously there was something that blew them away. And we've discussed this too. Art, a lot of us don't believe this. Art is firmly in belief that this team, they won the division, is right there. And part of the decision had to be, well, we could take a chance on the guy who's never been a head coach, but we've got this guy who's won a Super Bowl against us, so we know this guy can win.
Jeff, you obviously follow the league and not just the Steelers. You look at the roster and you take an honest appraisal of it. Do you agree with that assessment that they're close?
You don't have a quarterback, you don't have a chance for a championship. You need a quarterback. They don't have a quarterback. You can guess that maybe Aaron comes back, but is Aaron a franchise quarterback right now in his career? Neither of the two guys on the roster are. There's 2% hope that you could find someone in the draft that would be, and that might be generous. So if you don't have a quarterback, you don't. And there are other holes on this team that they have to fill. They do have a ton of draft picks, but you'd be putting a lot on rookies to take a major jump, not in win total, but a major jump in being an actual contender for a championship.
Jeff, the other thing, too, is if Art Rooney believes they're close, how does he square that, in your opinion, with the fact that Mike McCarthy, despite over a 3-year stretch with the Cowboys going 36-15 in 3 consecutive regular seasons and doing some objectively good work there, has only won in his last 7 actual seasons of coaching 1 playoff game? How do you really square the circle there that guy is the one who pushes this situation over the hump?
And I'm talking from Art's standpoint, that he looks at the entire body of work and says they had some really good seasons in Green Bay, and maybe there were other factors in Dallas. Listen, he had 3 straight 12-win seasons. That's impressive. And the year that he was fired, he lost Dak for half the year. So I'm not going to crush him on that. It's just, man, you kind of thought it was going to be someone to build with, and what they went with. And listen, both coaches in the AFC Championship game were previous coaches. He went with thinking that they're that close, and that the other thing is, and the biggest news that will come after this one is, man, who are those coordinators going to be? And he's worked with some good ones. Let's see who those coordinators are going to be.
Jeff, I know you got Pitt women's basketball to call here, so I appreciate on some short and pretty tight notice for you giving a couple of thoughts on the situation. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Jeff Hawthorne, our sports director, chiming in with his thoughts. I'll get to Adam Crowley in 5 minutes from the Fan Morning Show. The last thing I clicked on from Crowley and the guys was, interestingly enough, them doing impersonations of Elmo, Tyler Kennedy, and Morgan Freeman, I think Doran had in his quiver. Decidedly more serious tone today, to put it mildly, to the proceedings. I'm going to bring something up now, 412-928-9370. I'm going to get to a couple more of you before we throw Crowley on the air at the top of the hour. Here's something I think everybody needs to consider and reckon with. I didn't want to mention it right off the top. Everyone has said, I can't believe they didn't ask or didn't wait to talk to these Rams coordinators, or in the case of Shula, coordinator, in the case of Shieldhouse, who was my preferred pick, passing game coordinator. Here's something you have to, I think, come to terms with if you are a Steelers fan and you are frustrated about the way this has gone. Understandably so. What if both of those guys didn't want the job? We have seen this in this coaching cycle with multiple people removing their names from the Browns coaching search. Jesse Minter, Mike McDaniel. We've laughed at the Browns coaching search that they're having guys take personality tests. Oh, what a joke of a franchise that is. You got to realize that even if the Steelers were blown away by Shieldhouse in an interview, and even if Shula did well as well, what if those guys just quietly told the Steelers thanks but no thanks? What if they looked at the roster? What if they looked at the lack of a quarterback? What if they looked at the way the owner generally handles things? What if the owner's answers to them in this Zoom interview, each one of them did, all added up to, we're flattered by the attention, but we're going to look elsewhere. We're going to keep our options open. I know nobody here, even as disillusioned as many of us have become with the Steelers' way and with Art's way of leading this franchise, I still think it's a long jump from that to, wow, maybe the Steelers just aren't a very good job. But given the whole, we just hired Mike McCarthy and didn't even bother waiting for these Rams coordinators, even though Mike McCarthy had no other suitors, I think you have to consider that maybe the cutting of those communications came on the Rams guys' end and not on the Steelers. That it wasn't, we just like McCarthy better. It was, we actually liked one of those two. They didn't like us back. It takes two to tango, and I think it's very reasonable to think that neither one of those guys might have wanted to tango with the Steelers. Yeah, we'll go on the interview, but they're fact-finding as much as you are on the interviewer's end. As people said to us, you're being interviewed in this process too. Chris is in Wexford on 93.7 The Fan. Hey, Chris.
Malsey, how you doing, man?
Listen, breaking news, big news like this is always interesting to be on the air and covering it. I would like to say we were doing this because they hired Nate Shieldhouse and everyone was freaking out that they made a potentially great hire. So I've been better. Let's put it that way.
Well, hey, first of all, I just want to say thank you. You're what we need today. You coming on the air, first of all, we appreciate you. You're the injured therapist that we need today. And I want to say one thing. I have a PSA and a message for Steeler Nation. What we need to do on draft night, we need to let Art Nutting II know exactly how we feel. Sell the team chants, sell the team shirts, sell the team everything, because we need to show it on a national scale how sickened we are by this hire.
I'll tell you something right now. One of the things people said about what happens if they keep Mike Tomlin, like after another frustrating and raging season where they're getting booed, he's getting calls for his job during the Buffalo game. One of the things people kept hypothesizing was, how is Art going to react if at the draft, his big showcase event, there are people that disillusioned and that frustrated by the team that they're chanting stuff like that? I think this is the one hire in this coaching cycle that could make the fans just as mad. I think even if they had hired somebody who was basically not getting talked about, like Anthony Weaver, he'd have won the intro presser. If he had hired the right coordinators and said, by the way, I'm here to be a CEO. I'm here to be like the tone setter. These guys are going to actually call the plays. I'm staying hands off, etc. I actually think he would have won some people over. I do. In fact, I think if they had hired Brian Flores, who might still have like some toxicity to him as far as the attitude, I'm not even talking about the lawsuit. I'm saying like the abrasiveness. I think people would have welcomed that. Hey, he's a tough guy. He's going to basically take this thing by the reins, kind of shake it by the shoulders and get it on the right path. And people would have been like, okay, that's cool. The one name that was getting bandied about here that people scratched their heads and went, what? That's the guy they hired. The guy some people thought, this has got to be a joke. They wouldn't hire Mike McCarthy. They did. They really did. Our buddy Rob in North for Sales ready to chime in on this. Hey, Rob.
Chris, we were expecting one storm today. We weren't expecting this one. I mean, eventually I was. I was trying to think whenever Tomlin resigned, I'm like, if I was this ownership, who would I be thinking? And Smith and McCarthy. So unfortunately, we're here, and we got to try to find the positives out of it. What, I don't know. Maybe he can turn Mason into Sam Darnold, or maybe help find that next quarterback.
Sam Darnold, is he French now? Did he come from Quebec?
Something like that. I've been watching a lot of hockey, I guess. But can he make that difference? Can he help them get that next quarterback? And I don't think this is going to be long term. This might be the shortest Steeler head coach tenure I ever see in my lifetime.
Well, his age would suggest that your lifetime goes back to, I would imagine, the Knoll years, obviously. I think you're maybe a little older than me, but I go back into the Knoll years too. So if it's not the shortest tenure, that means Mike McCarthy would be coaching till he was almost 80 years old, Rob. So I think this is the shortest tenure. I'm going to say this. I will take you up on your request that I try to find a silver lining here, okay? Because I'm usually Mr. Dark Cloud guy. The only way that I see this, man, it's even hard to say this and try to sell it myself on it. The only way I see this even remotely having a chance to work okay is if they hire a really good offensive coordinator, and it's obvious that McCarthy's job is to take some slings and arrows and take a couple of beatings the next couple of years, get the next quarterback in here in the draft. McCarthy starts the development process. They have a really good offensive coordinator / head coach in waiting whose whole thing is they're going to take over. Essentially, McCarthy launders how rough the situation is right now until the job looks better on paper, and then he moves on, which to me is like a 3 to 4 year process. I just have a very hard time believing that would actually be their plan. I just don't think that's how the owner sees it.
According to Jerry Dulac, the contract is a 5-year deal for Mike McCarthy.
Terrific. Thank you for that, Charlie. I want to go walk into the ocean. Do we have Crowley yet? Did he do? Is he doing video link? We got to get old Adam Crowley on the horn right now. What did he do? He didn't chime in on video. That's very Crowley-esque. Give him a call. Do you have his number? I hope you do.
Unfortunately, I do.
Yeah, give Crowley a call. I told him 4 o'clock, and in classic Crowley fashion, he's running late. 5-year deal per Jerry Dulac. By the way, I hate to do this. Actually, I don't. I got to look for any wins I can get. I will say this. Jerry did not really think that this was going to happen. And we know Jerry has a line into the owner. And he did not expect it. I think he responded to a Dan Orlovsky tweet. And indicated, I think, that he didn't think that they were actually going to hire Mike McCarthy. So there's that. Jerry also tweeted the hiring of Mike McCarthy, quote, has nothing to do with the possibility of bringing back Aaron Rodgers for 2026 per sources. I'm willing to bet that they want to, though. I'm willing to bet that they would love to get that band back together. And by they, I mean Art Rooney II. What's to suggest that they wouldn't? Why would Art Rooney not just say, yeah, give me that? No, I need him back here. No, he was good. Look at the touchdown numbers. Look at everything else. To the hotline again we go. And we have Adam Crowley of the Fan Morning Show on the line. He was at a party, so he might be several Guinnesses into his day, which could make this very entertaining for everybody. Crow, man, what did you think when you saw the news?
I thought they had a chance to get a potential superstar head coach, and instead they hired a guy who it's impossible for him to accomplish more here than what he's already accomplished. If it were the Ravens making this hire, I think I'd actually have gotten it. If it were the Bills making this hire, that would have made some sense to me. Even if it were the Giants, who already have a quarterback, and they want him to take a step, I could have seen it. But the Steelers are nowhere near contention, Chris. And, hey, look, I think there is a way that this kind of works, but you have a chance to hire a star. and you miss it, whether that's Shula or Shielhouse. I cannot wait to see what these guys become in their career.
Do you think there's any truth to the idea, like the notion or legitimacy to the notion I floated that maybe those guys both told the Steelers quietly, thanks but no thanks, and because they're not the Browns, it didn't just leak out everywhere that people were pulling their candidacy?
I mean, if that's the case, then I still would have taken a shot probably on Anthony Weaver. He wasn't my favorite candidate, but he seems like a leader of men, CEO type, and I just wanted to see something we haven't seen before, because then the sky can be the limit. And I just don't think that Mike McCarthy is going to be around here long enough for the Steelers to take a sizable step. Now, I did say that there is a caveat. I think that bringing Rodgers back would be a horrific idea, just a horrific idea. But we know that McCarthy has had a track record of developing quarterbacks in the past, most notably one, Aaron Rodgers. If you could find the next one, that'd be great. I'd give him the power to attempt to do that, and I would not allow him to go get Aaron Rodgers. If he wanted Aaron Rodgers, then that would pretty much undo all of his quarterback whispering that he's done in the past, in my mind, because clearly he doesn't know how to evaluate the position anymore.
My big sum of all fears take on this, Adam, is that Ty Simpson's going to be in that draft, and Fernando Mendoza, everybody knows, is going to go number one. Horrifying thought is them reaching yet again with the 21st pick and trying to find their quarterback when nobody else thinks that guy is probably worth picking there. And they just try to justify it that way.
So here's why I've landed on McCarthy v. Tomlin. I think they're in a better position today than they were with Mike Tomlin. It's not who I would have hired. I'm not excited about it. Doesn't get me all hot and bothered. Mike McCarthy drafting Ty Simpson does at least make me feel like there's some hope he can become something. Had Mike Tomlin and Arthur Smith in the previous administration drafted Ty Simpson, or any quarterback for that matter, I would have thought, okay, Kenny Pickett 2.0. I wouldn't do it. I'd be more inclined to sign a Malik Willis to a Justin Fields type deal and see how that goes. But I wouldn't just flush the Ty Simpson thing down the toilet any longer like I would if it were Tomlin.
Who do you think they hire as coordinators? Anybody that makes people excited, or do you think this is going to be retread central?
I would imagine it's going to be retread central.
Oh boy.
It would be wonderful if it were Shielhouse getting the opportunity to learn. I mean, it would have been wonderful if he had actually been the head coach that they had hired. But if something like that were to happen, then I think maybe a lot of us would back up off the edge. But I would think it's somebody that has worked for McCarthy in some respect before, wouldn't you think? I mean, Omar Khan brings his buddy in now to be the head coach, so that's already happened. Why wouldn't Mike McCarthy then bring his buddies in to be his associates?
I'm with you, and I don't like that I'm with you because I think it's just going to be kind of a mess and kind of a disorganized mess. And eventually, here's the one thing he doesn't have that Mike Tomlin did. Mike Tomlin had this bizarre ability to somehow drag teams to the playoffs and go 9-8 or whatever in the face of mounting evidence that wasn't really a possibility. I get the sense that this might actually all fall completely apart, which maybe wouldn't be the worst thing then, because it would perhaps wake some people up on South Water Street that they're not nearly as close as they think. Crowman, back to your party. I don't want to hold you anymore. Thank you for chiming in on a Saturday.
Just real quick, Malsey.
Yes.
Have you already talked to Pony?
No, he's been incognito, or incommunicado, I should say, not incognito. He's been incommunicado about this whole thing.
I can't imagine a bigger nightmare for a radio host that craves this moment as much as he does, you do, and I do, as being in New York City at a Stranger Things play, which I didn't even know existed, probably going to get snowed in there overnight if they don't leave today. I mean, that is just hell on earth. Oh, yeah, by the way, the Steelers hired Mike McCarthy.
I can't believe you just twisted the knife and said it again. Thank you, Crowman.
Hey, thank you, buddy. Keep up the good work.
Coming up, we'll try to get Donnie Football's take on this. Now, he wanted to come on in 2 minutes, but we got to take a little bit longer of a break. We'll try to get back by about 4:15. I'll see if I can get Don on the line. If not, you guys have been waiting patiently. You're going to get your say on this one. Steelers hire Mike McCarthy. According to Jerry Dulac, it is a 5-year deal for the Greenfield native and former Cowboys and Packers head coach. Make your voice heard, 412-928-9370. That's the fan text line, brought to you by Edgar Snyder & Associates, a personal injury law firm where they always say there's never a fee unless we get money for you. Steelers hire Mike McCarthy. It's wall-to-wall black and gold, and I wouldn't say it's the happiest crowd out there right now. We'll get a fan headline with Charlie right now.
HD1 Pittsburgh, an Odyssey sports station. Live from the Jim Shorkey Mitsubishi.com studios, North Huntington and North Hills. Always live and free on the Odyssey app.
Need legal help without the high price tag? Turn to Myers Law Group, Pittsburgh's choice for affordable legal solutions. Myers Law Group specializes in helping clients traverse the complex divorce process. Their experienced family law attorneys bring in in-depth knowledge, experience, and expertise to each case, whether child custody, adoption, or prenup creation. Call Myers Law Group today at 724-778-8800 or visit jpmyerslaw.com. Call Myers Law Group for affordable legal solutions.
Ring in the new year with a little magic from Spitzer Toyota Monroeville. Want a lifetime warranty and complimentary maintenance? Want rewards and an easy-to-use Spitzer VIP app? Granted. Want to lease a new 2026 Toyota Corolla LE from $165 a month? Granted. Hurry in and grant your New Year's wishes today. Wag more, spend less at Spitzer Toyota Monroeville.
At Spitzer, our world revolves around you.
TSRP 25,082. VIN 5YFB4 MDE 5TP 390565. 39 months. $4,099 do it signing through TMS with approved credit. Does not include title tax, license, registration, accessories, and dealer fees. $477 doc fee. Zero security deposit. 10K miles per year. See dealer for details. Ends 2/2/2026.
Temperatures may be cold outside, but the orders are heating up for the spring sports season at Keystone Custom Apparel. Are you happy with your current sports uniform provider? Give Keystone Custom Apparel a try. Baseball, soccer, lacrosse, and more. If you're looking to raise money for your organization through a Spirit Wear fundraiser, Keystone Custom Apparel is your one-stop source to get your team looking good on the field and in the stands. Visit KeystoneCustomApparel.com to get a free uniform quote or to open a Spirit Wear fundraiser today. And make sure you tell them Score and Doran sent you.
Start the new year in a brand new ride. South Hills Kia is kicking off January with incredible lease deals. Drive home a 2025 Kia Sorento S all-wheel drive. Only $299 a month for 24 months with $39.99 due at signing. Or choose the 2025 Kia Seltos LX all-wheel drive. Just $205 a month for 24 months with $34.99 due at signing. 10,000 miles per year. Lease offers exclude taxes and fees. No security deposit required. Hurry. These January lease offers end February 2nd, 2026. Visit southhillskia.net and start the new year behind the wheel of a brand new Kia.
Cheerleaders is Pittsburgh's premier gentlemen's club and sports bar. As soon as you arrive, you can feel the energy of the Cheerleaders experience. Cheerleaders has a 5-star kitchen that stays open late. Cheerleaders has been voted Pittsburgh's #1 gentlemen's club 12 of the 13 years they've been open. Cheerleaders now is Taco and Tequila Tuesdays. $2 tacos, $2 Coors Light bottles, $2 tequila drinks till midnight, and 2-for-1 private dances. The best happy hour specials in the city are at Cheerleaders Pittsburgh.
Hey, Chris Mueller here. We're 3 weeks into the new year. All right, folks, time to face the music. Have any of you lost 20 pounds yet? You could have, and it's not too late to start. I was down 20 in my first 3 weeks with Awaken 180. Hey, Donnie, how about you?
Same story here, Mulsey. We both dropped over 10 pounds in that first week, 20 in 3 weeks, and then just kept shedding 4 to 5 pounds every single week.
Pretty simple. By eating to lose weight. It sounds simple because it is. And once you know your body, once your Awaken 180 coach knows you, the rest, well, you get the point.
Both of us dropped 20 pounds in our first 3 weeks. Me, 45 overall. Chris dropped the 35 he needed to lose, and thousands of others have met their goals too.
If I could do it, if Donnie could do it, I know any of our listeners could too. Awaken 180 is a game changer. No working out, no pills, no hunger. Find out during your first call to the solution for weight loss, Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Online, awaken180weightloss.com.
I'm Joe George from the Western PA injury firm of LGKG.
And I'm Larry Kelly. Joe and I have built a reputation of doing what we say we'll do, always.
And because of that, we've earned the respect and trust of our peers and community alike.
If you've been injured in an accident, we want to talk to you personally. Call 724-658-8535.
Ask for Larry or ask for me. We answer our phones. We call you back. You don't get referred out by LGKG. That's 724-658-8535.
LGKG, your home team.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly. This service is available based on Medicaid eligibility. Call 412-844-5623 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 412-844-5623. That's 412-844-5623. To get started today, you get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 412-844-5623. That's 412-844-5623. Or go to freedomcare.com.
Freedom Care, we're here for
Text us on the Edgar Snyder and Associates text line at 412-928-9370. Edgar Snyder and Associates reminds you to text responsibly. Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan, built by Window Nation, home of the buy two, get two free offer. Your hometown building partner since 1956, 84 Lumber. Visit 84lumber.com.
Honey, I found the perfect place for my parents and us.
Where?
St. Barnabas. For us, the Woodlands Carriage Home Community. And for my parents, condominium-style living at the Village. My folks will love the Village. There's an indoor mall with shops, restaurants, and more. And we can relax, knowing they're safe and secure.
That's what I plan to do when we move to St. Barnabas. Relax.
Call 724-444-5568 or visit stbarnabascommunities.com.
Now, fan headlines powered by Bowser Chevrolet.
The Pittsburgh Steelers have verbally agreed to a contract, or a new head coach. It's Mike McCarthy, to an apparent 5-year contract, according to Jerry Dulac. For more, go to 937thefan.com. Right now, Malsey.
We're here so you don't miss a thing.
I'm turning it up.
Live and local on the weekends. Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan, Pittsburgh's hometown sports station.
It is Chris Mueller, special Saturday show. Mike McCarthy is your new Steelers head coach. The people so far not happy. I've seen a handful, a smattering of positive tweets about this. I think from people who literally grew up in Greenfield. I'm not exaggerating there. Most everyone else seems to be on the same page. They wanted different. They wanted new. They wanted one of the Rams coordinators, even Anthony Weaver. They wanted Brian Flores. They didn't want this guy because he generally goes against the mold the Steelers have had. And more to the point, I think, at least for me, I can call it like I see it. Mike McCarthy's record suggests he's overall a good coach. I'd said he's like a B- coach in the end. He, like many coaches, is about as good as the quarterback that he's got. I said the main reason this hire would bum me out before it actually happened was it would telegraph that the owner of this franchise genuinely doesn't think that they need to be rebuilt and hire somebody to try to keep whatever you would call the work Mike Tomlin was doing going. And I think other than the fact that the focus now and the expertise on the head coach's part flips from defense to offense, that's exactly what Mike McCarthy is. That's the bottom line. You can also hit us up on Twitter during all of this. I'll be on until 6 o'clock today at 93.7 The Fan. Fan Twitter brought to you by South Hills Kia, Peters Township. Visit them, southhillskia.net. Donnie Football, he just got done calling a basketball game. He's a busy guy on the weekends. He's on the hotline right now to chime in on Mike McCarthy, new Steelers head coach. First question, Don, same thing I've asked everybody. Just your initial reaction when you saw this news come down.
I don't know if I think gutted might be too harsh to say, Malsey, like it's the worst news I've ever received. But definitely disappointed. We've had very limited opportunities to see the Steelers go through this process, and they went with something that I feel was just very lazy. It was something there for the taking the entire time, and there was no reason to be in a rush to make this move. It feels very selfish from the owner. So I would say overall just incredibly disappointed that this is what they decided to do because it feels like it's just the same thing.
To what extent do you think this might have been motivated by the idea that maybe both of the Rams candidates told them thanks but no thanks kind of through back channels and quietly? Because we know that stuff got out with the Browns, I think partly because the Browns don't have as good of a reputation, and so that stuff tends to get made public. Do you think there's any truth, or not truth, I should say, but do you think it's a plausible theory that maybe Shieldhouse and Shula both weren't that interested in the end?
I mean, that would be really the only thing that would make it acceptable to me to go this route. But, I mean, listen, I get that they're saying that to the Browns, and I know that the Steelers aren't the same Steelers that we're used to. But, man, what would that say about this once proud franchise that multiple coaches turned you down, a franchise that has had 3 head coaches basically since, like, Vietnam, and you're getting turned down by people who are pass game coordinators and defensive coordinators? I mean, that would be telling in itself if there's any truth to that, but I can't really get there.
The thing that I can't get past, Don, is we know that sort of a hire sometimes in the moment is judged by, well, how many other people wanted this person, right? I think it is jarring that the Tennessee Titans, who have a number 1 overall pick quarterback who just completed his rookie year and presumably want to get the most out of him, not only didn't hire Mike McCarthy, the only other job, by the way, he was actually in the running for, but were so not enamored by him that McCarthy pulled his name out of the running when it became obvious they were going to go with Robert Saleh, who is most decidedly not an offensive guy. I felt like that was pretty telling about where McCarthy might stand relative to his peers in this coaching search around the rest of the league.
Well, I also think it makes it – that's another layer that makes this very frustrating as a Steelers fan, is that if this was the decision you wanted to make, there was zero rush to make it. Nobody else in the National Football League wanted Mike McCarthy. They could have waited until March to make this decision if they wanted to. Mm-hmm. I don't understand how you make this call without talking to any of the Rams guys in person, or really anybody else in person for that matter. So they did what? 3 in-person interviews? McCarthy, Weaver, and Flores.
Yep.
That was it. Mm-hmm. There's zero reason to jump to this because nobody else in the league wanted Mike McCarthy. Nobody.
Don, I can tell you're getting fired up. You started off by trying to be the cooler head here. When I came on the air, I immediately said this is an F hire. But I'm going to let you cool back down now and go get yourself some Dinos, put the hens in their cages, and get ready for Monday's show, my friend.
Thank you, Malsey. And I would say this place better be loaded up for late July, early August, because Big Mike's coming to town.
See you, Don. There he goes, Donnie Football. He needs to eat some wings. It's a coping mechanism. I really don't blame him. Back to the phones we go. 412-928-9370. Steelers hire Mike McCarthy, and according to Jerry Dulac, it's a 5-year contract for the Greenfield native. Here's Matt in Greensburg. Hey, Matt.
Hey, what's up, Chris?
Hey.
Hey, mostly agree with you. I hear you on the what if they didn't want to come here. I also think there's an element of this was a down class for head coaches. This was not Ben Johnson, Kellen Moore, Liam Cohen, Mike Vrabel last year. Okay. And they retreated and said, you know what, we'll take someone that you like you said, you're not going to be surprised if he's fired in 2 or 3 years.
I'll be surprised if he's fired in 2 or 3 years just because the Steelers don't really fire coaches ever.
Sure. But I also think, I'm trying to look at this optimistically. He had two, just in his Dallas stint, 2 more OCs that are current head coaches right now. One was Kellen Moore that Mike Tomlin ever has. Okay. And he always brings offense. That's the only pushback I'm giving you. And I know you're connecting the dots to this is Tomlin, but I think it's more.
Well, here's the problem, though. He had Dak. He inherited Dak. Like, he walked into a situation. Yeah. And I know people here, I think, kind of slag Dak once in a while, but Dak's one of the better quarterbacks in the sport, and they've always tried to prioritize flashy offense there, and he did well with it. He didn't win playoff games. He won 1. But he also had Aaron Rodgers, and I don't know where the pathway is for him to find that quarterback because, let me put it this way, my opinion of McCarthy is more that the quarterbacks helped to make him rather than he elevated the quarterback.
I totally agree, but I am connecting the dots straight to Sean Payton, who took over a worse roster in Denver than McCarthy is right now.
That defense was already like starting to really coalesce into place, I think, in Denver. I'm going to be fair about that. I don't agree with you on that.
The only thing worse than having no quarterback is having a bad quarterback that's old on a terrible deal like Sean Payton did. He had no quarterback, and then he took Bo Nix. At this time when Bo Nix was drafted, he was not consensus first-round pick. So he reached what you're saying about the Alabama kid. I'm just saying there's parallels to where this could work. I'm not saying okay, Sean Payton, say he maybe had a little bit better roster. He still had no quarterback, and that is what he is made his living on.
I understand that you could try to draw parallels. The problem is the big thing that has gotten Denver to where they are, and thanks, Matt, is their defense. And the Steelers have an aging, problematic defense where I think a lot of people wanted to see them rebuild that defense because it wasn't very impressive. Let's go to, we got one more, going to take a quick break. Joe Starky, we're going to try to get all your fan hosts on here, as many of them as we can today, to just give preliminary thoughts on this. It's a random Saturday. I got to be honest, it feels a little bit like a Saturday news dump hire. You hire somebody and announce it at the peak time where news breaks if you're proud of the hire, in my opinion. If you think the hire is going to go over well. You announce a hiring at 1:44 or whatever the hell it was. That's when I saw it on my phone. On a Saturday where everyone's going out to get bread, milk, and jumbo because of a snowstorm that's incoming, if you're worried that people might not be crazy about the decision you made, we'll get Joe on at the bottom of the hour. We'll quickly go to Joe in Verona first, though. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Chris. How you doing?
I'm good. What's up?
This is just me. I've been this way for 3, 4, 5 years. I've told everybody, and this is my opinion, I'm going to stick with it. Art Rooney's an incompetent owner. I was afraid something like this would happen. Omar, 25 years with McCarthy. It's all for, like a fraternity. Everybody's comfortable. And you know what? I could care less. I'm 82. I was hoping to maybe get a young kid in here and I can see a playoff. I got so many years left. And I just ain't an Art Rooney, man. I don't care what you say. I can't stand him, man. And I'm sorry. And
you don't have to say sorry for anything. I think you're speaking the truth to a lot of people out there. I think his biggest flaw is he feels like he's a guy who's out of touch, Joe. He's out of touch with the Steelers' reality as a franchise right now, with their roster construction and everything else. You don't have to say sorry. Mike McCarthy is a reported 5-year deal per Jerry Dulac of the Post-Gazette to be the next Steelers head coach. Simple question. What do you think about it? 412-928-9370. I would say so far the reaction, overwhelmingly negative. Do you think that either one or both of those Rams candidates just told the Steelers quietly, thanks, but no thanks? I think that's a distinct possibility. We'll get Joe Starky's take on it. And then in about 20 minutes or just under, the guy who got this correct when he said he thought it was going to happen, I got to give him his props. We'll get Mark Kabali's very quick take. These are just going to be quick little 3 to 5 minute hits. We'll get more of you guys as well in between, sounding off on Mike McCarthy, your newest Pittsburgh Steelers head coach. Here's a fan headline.
Now, fan headlines powered by Bowser Chevrolet.
Sorry, I'm doing 400 things back here, Mulsey. I appreciate.
Would you like
your
me to do
patience.
this headline? Mike McCarthy was hired as the Steelers head coach. It's a reported 5-year deal, according to Jerry Dulac of the Post-Gazette. More fan headlines powered by Bowser Chevrolet at 937thefan.com.
What he said.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation. Baker's Waterproofing is now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Hey, it's Andrew Filiponi for the FanDuel Sportsbook, the official partner of 93.7 The Fan, the official sports betting partner of the NFL. FanDuel is turning on playoff mode, and all customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. So each game day during the championship round, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. More boosts means more ways to level up your playoff bets. Pick the matchups you believe in, take your shot on an upset, or build a parlay that fits the moment. I can't wait for the NFC Championship game. game. NFC West battle between the Seahawks and Rams Part 3. What a classic. They played in Seattle for the 1 seed a few weeks back, and I like the Seahawks again to reign supreme. The Rams have looked shaky. Now they're about to take on the most dominant team in the NFC. Give me Seattle to make it back to the big game. Visit FanDuel.com/Andrew and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. 21 plus in President, Pennsylvania. Opt-in required. Bonus issued is now. Drawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration to max wager amount. See terms. Sportsbook.FanDuel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your nature-made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Smooth accelerators. When that light turns green, you're off. Like a warm knife through firm butter. Going from 0 to the speed limit in an appropriate amount of time. Sure, your car has horsepower, but your horses prance around as silky smooth as your right foot. Fancy Prancerton. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. TNC Supply.
New year, new ride at Joe Ball GMC. Power up in a brand new GMC Canyon with up to $1,700 off. Built tough, ready for work or the weekend. Upgrade your truck today at Joe Ball GMC. Route 8 Glenshaw. Details at joeballgm.com.
When the cold hits, don't let your furnace catch you off guard. Get your $79 furnace tune-up from Sullivan Super Service and make sure it's running smoothly. For just $79, their experts will perform a thorough 20-plus point inspection, clean your system, check filters, test for carbon monoxide leaks, and more. Lower energy bills, fewer breakdowns, and a furnace ready for winter, all for just $79. Call Sullivan Super Service today or visit sullivanservice.com to book your tune-up. Time to get your home zero-resified with our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $119 plus a free hallway and take 15% off all regular services. Mention the 93.7 The Fan special. ZeroResPGH.com.
Julian Gray Associates has the most certified elder law attorneys of any law firm in the nation, right here in Pittsburgh. They also have experienced social workers so that you can prepare a plan to age with dignity that you can afford. Visit grayelderlaw.com.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
Live from the ShorkeyMitsubishi.com studios, North Huntington and North Hills. We're talking all things Pittsburgh sports all weekend.
You're doing it all weekend, too?
Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan, Pittsburgh's hometown sports station.
Is Mike McCarthy going to be their next coach? I wouldn't be shocked if he was. But is he your betting favorite? Right now, yes.
First of all, I think they're going. That was holy ostrich milk that Joe said at the end there. He kind of, it's like in the Raiders of the Lost Ark,
When they open the Ark of the Covenant and then the things fly out and kill everybody, all the bad guys. It's like Joe kind of opened the Ark of the Covenant there, even asking Mark Kabali that question, and then it came into being. Joe Starky of the Pomp and Joe Show is on the hotline right now. We are running through as many fan hosts as we can get a hold of to make sure they get their opinions out there on this. Mike McCarthy, the new Steelers head coach, and according to Jerry Dulac, Joe, if you didn't see this part, it is a reported 5-year deal. Just your first knee-jerk reaction when you found out this was the hire.
First knee-jerk reaction was Art said he wanted to run it back with Mike Tomlin, and now he is. The last name's just changed. What is happening here? What is he doing? Is the non-losing streak like this important to him that he wants to keep it going? Does he not know? I'm sure he does. The franchise history that a losing season begat Ben, and that a horrible 1-13 season begat Terry Bradshaw, and that those Lombardi trophies over there are all because of their quarterbacks, or mostly at least? What is he doing? What is this guy doing?
I'm with you on that. The funny thing is, if he cares so much about the non-losing season streak, he just hired a guy who, unlike Mike Tomlin, actually has had several of them, including his most recent season as a head coach, where he went 7-10. He went 6-10 with Dallas as well. He bookended his tenure with losing seasons. Joe, my first thought too was, second thought was, I just wonder if, because I'm sure you've seen the news that like Mike McDaniel has turned down the Browns publicly and said, I'm not going to come back for an interview. Jesse Minter did it because he was sure he was getting the Ravens job. I would love to know if Chris Shula and Nate Scheelhaus just quietly told the Steelers through back channels, thanks, but we're not interested. We're not even going to come in for the in-person interview. That thought has at least crossed my mind.
I mean, you can't help but wonder when you see this, and what's the rush was another one of my first thoughts. Like, why wouldn't you want an in-person interview with those guys and others? I still can't figure out why they don't want to talk to Clint Kubiak. But, yeah, you have to think that. The only way this kind of makes sense to me, or would, is if you had a guy like Scheelhaus and you brought him in and had some kind of organizational plan where he would be the coach in waiting. But does that even make sense? I mean, is that workable? What if he becomes a star early and other teams want him and are coveting him? I don't know. I don't really see that as workable, but that's the only way that this would make sense, because right now it just looks to me like he just rehired Mike Tomlin.
He hired the offensive version of Mike Tomlin, a guy who coaches that side of the ball and generally doesn't win playoff games. The only other thing I could think of was this. You will recall there was a bridge coach in Houston, David Culley. Remember him for one memorable 4-13 season? And then they got
him.
Yeah, they got D'Amico Ryans after that. The best I could come up with here, Joe, was that Mike McCarthy is brought in to almost, like most realistically, launder this job if it's actually not that attractive of a job. And I think we all kind of floated that notion during the hiring process and the search, and now maybe that came to fruition. They hope he can be the guy who has to absorb a couple of losing seasons, draft a quarterback, and then maybe kind of hit the road after a third or fourth year. And hopefully you get the reins handed over to somebody that he hires that you like, or somebody else. But that's the best I can come up with, because otherwise it's just the Occam's razor here. Clearest, simplest answer is Art Rooney II thinks that they can still contend and thinks that this was the right guy to help, kind of accomplish that aim.
I mean, for now, I'm just going to believe what Art says. When he talks, believe him.
Yep.
He thinks they were, quote, in contention these years, and, quote, that's what you want. That's what he said.
Yep.
And I think with this hire, he thinks they're doing just fine. And I can see already next year, like no joke intended here, them going 9-8 with 43-year-old Aaron Rodgers reunited with McCarthy. They're a combined 105 years old. And them, not that I'm young, and they lose a playoff game at home to pick a team, Jacksonville, 34-10, and Art leaves that season satisfied too. Talks about how his team was in contention. That's what you want. Mike came in here to do what we wanted him to do, which is to give us a shot. You know what I mean? I'm not going to read it any other way other than that. And the last time, by the way, Mosey, time Mike McCarthy was seen on a playoff field, he was getting blown out at home
by the
Packers. The wild card round in a loss that basically precipitated his stepping down or his being fired in Dallas. Does that sound familiar? At home in a playoff game, getting your head handed to you in a historically horrifying loss. That was the most points the Cowboys have ever given up in a home playoff game. He's won one playoff game in 7 years. Tomlin's won none. He is Tomlin. Tomlin is him. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. What is Art doing?
He's Joe Starky, and you'll hear him on the Pomp and Joe show this Monday. Thank you, Joe.
Not only that, Mulsey, I'm walking to the office tomorrow from my house because it's walkable distance, and I'll be on 12 to 2. Thanks for having me.
Bye now. Joe Starky. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. I like that from Joe. I like that he went that route and went down the Ace Ventura rabbit hole. I don't really know just how you square anything about this other than the owner of the team, like Joe said, feels very strongly that they are still a contending roster and made a hire that is commensurate with that belief. That's the bottom line here. I also think Omar Khan and his comfort factor with Mike McCarthy played a huge role in this, which I'm not saying in a complimentary way either. Chris is in Erie on 93.7 The Fan. Hi, Chris.
Hey, Malzy. I didn't really plan on drinking today, but my goodness, I mean, how can I not?
It'll make you, if you're a drinking man, it'll make you pour a stiff one, I think, if you were hoping for a young and upcoming coach, that's for sure.
I can't even have it be an icy light. I'm here drinking Yingling for crying out loud. But, I mean, honestly, I think it's an F hire. It definitely could have been higher if not for their laziness. I mean, they went with a coach that was always a yes instead of fighting for a coach that could potentially tell them no. I don't necessarily buy that that there were backdoor channels to the Steelers that Shula and Sheehouse said thanks, but no thanks. I think Rooney was afraid of competition for a coach and having his feelings hurt with a no.
I think even forget about his feelings. I just think if Shula and Shieldhouse legitimately told it, like, you can't beg, right? It's not like asking a girl to prom. You can't just, oh, please. If they told him no, like, that's kind of it. You know what I mean? You don't circle back around. Sure. I guess you could and say, here, we're going to throw like a pile of money at you, but those guys clearly made like there's the chance, I shouldn't say. I'm not going to say it as fact because I don't have it as fact, and I'm really only surmising this. Those guys might have both made a calculation like, we'd rather stay here. Sean McVay might not coach forever. Sean McVay has hinted at wanting to retire before and thought, having thought about it. If I'm Chris Shula, I'm thinking maybe I'll get that job. If I'm Nate Shieldhouse, I'm thinking maybe I'll just be Shula's offensive coordinator. And then they're all thinking they can kind of keep playing the same song. It just, to me, the jarring thing here, and the reason I keep bringing up that angle with those two guys, who I think were most people's 1 and 2 in some order, and thanks for the call, Chris, is that it's just, I think, hard to reconcile if you're a Steelers fan, a longtime Steelers fan, the idea that they would be considered an undesirable job for people that are potential head coaches. 412-928-9370 is the phone number. We're going to keep taking your phone calls. Obviously, we got packed lines here. I'm trying to get to everybody I can. I also want to hear from people, though, and kind of mix in people who have been covering this coaching search. And one guy who nailed it, he got it right. He is joining us again after an appearance yesterday for an hour, is Mark Kabali. I know that you are reading the room and aren't going to go, I told you so, everybody, but you did suggest that this guy was the front runner. Don't laugh at this interview. This is a serious interview. Mark, when you saw the news today, one, did you get any kind of advance notice? Like, we all kind of found out around 1:40, I think, was when this broke. Did you have any inkling from your people that this was happening before it actually broke?
I'm going to look on my phone right now and tell you the timing of this, so I'm not off. I got stay close to your phone at 1:27.
So not very far. Like, yeah. So you got like a 10-minute warning basically on this.
I was like, uh-oh. Here we go.
I found out via a text. Like, I was sitting at my neighbor's house, legitimately just hanging out. Like, our kids were playing upstairs. And I got a text that just said, you guys are going to have a field day on Monday. And then the next thing I saw on my phone was Content Craig putting out a siren call to me to see if I could come and do an emergency show. So that's how I found out. Well, what do you make of it?
Well, I make the people are not very, very happy.
They aren't.
I think you have to look at it with a little bit of an open mind. I know that's really, really hard to do right now because, you're saying mediocre Mike part 2, right? Coming back, just the offensive version of Mike Tomlin. We know how this is going to be played out. But the way I look at it, it might be a little bit different, is because they are, and I've said this on your show the other day, they are really, really hell-bent of trying to find the next quarterback. And they really do believe Mike McCarthy is that guy, can identify him and be able to progress him to that point of being not 6 different starting quarterbacks in 6 different years. Now, that is now also along with not just giving up on the season. So there might have been a little mix there between still wanting to win now and still want to look for the future quarterback and having a guy that's done that before. And be honest with you, I think it's just it's out there right now of whether this is going to be a success or not. Because I think, to me, is if they go 4-12, 4-12, 4-12, whatever, 4-13, and find themselves the next starting quarterback for the next 10 years, that's a win to me. If they go 13-4, 13-4, and 13-4, and have three different quarterbacks doing it, that's a failure to me. That's the way I look at it.
Well, that just, to me, is, I mean, I think your level of extremes there is kind of funny that they would somehow have three different quarterbacks all have 13 wins in a season. That would be very funny. But that gets to kind of my biggest problem with this. I think it's a very short-sighted thing. I think they are, and they're also trying to live in two worlds, like you just alluded to. We want to find our next quarterback. We think this guy can do it. Fine, whatever. But we also think we can win now. I think that very rarely works in professional sports where you try to have it both ways, have your cake and eat it too. And I also cannot help, Mark, but think that the timing of this, because nobody else was interviewing Mike McCarthy for a head coaching job. He pulled himself out of the Titans running because it was clear they hired Laauo later that afternoon, so he knew he wasn't getting that job. I cannot shake the idea that either Chris Shula or Nate Scheelhaus or both quietly told the Steelers, like, don't even bother flying us across the country for an interview. We're good. Like, I cannot shake that reality or that thought, I guess. I guess it's like my conspiracy theory that this isn't that really desirable of a job around the NFL to some of these candidates.
I don't know. We're talking about two very young guys that have not been in this position at all. Wouldn't you want to go just for the experience, right?
Well, I would think if I were Shula, I would, because there are stories leaking out that they, in November that they liked Chris Shula and that they're keeping an eye on him. So what could have changed on their end, unless that was completely untrue, other than, on his end, he said, I'm good. I don't want this job.
Well, it also could be the fact that they didn't want it to come off looking like McCarthy would be their number two choice, say if they had to wait around for Shula, say we need to interview him. Okay, no, we'll go with McCarthy. I mean, it could be something as simple as that. I honestly think they were pretty sure. Obviously, they were sure with McCarthy, or they would not have made the move right now. They would have waited until at least they were able to talk to them. But for either one of those guys, especially Scheelhaus, who's a passing game coordinator, not wanting to have a in-person interview if that was up in the air just seems like craziness to me. So I would say no. I would say that they figured that that was their guy. This was their guy. And, hey, it is different in one regard, Ballsy. It's not a 30-some-year-old first-time coach with the defensive background. So look at it positive.
Well, you know what? Hold on. There. You've turned my frown upside down about this. Thank you. What does this do for Aaron Rodgers?
I don't think it's
that he's back.
Yeah. I don't
do you think it's better than 50-50?
I think there's a chance now, but there was no chance before. At least there's somewhat of a puncher's chance if they want him back here. I think he might have to be his arm twisted a little bit by some veterans and maybe the head coach calling him up. But I would not go into this thinking Aaron Rodgers is coming back absolutely 100% sure right now. No, I do not see that right now. He could, but I don't think that's a slam dunk at this moment.
How much do you think Omar Khan played a role in this entire process? Because we know he goes way back with McCarthy.
Huge. I think they come. If I was just reading this from the outside, I think that McCarthy is somebody that would ability to have that resume of the winning and continue to win would be right up Art Rooney's alley. What did he say a week ago or 2 weeks ago? If I could have another Tomlin, Noel Cowher, I would sign up for it right now, basically. So you know what? That's almost what you got right here. But on the flip side of that, I think Omar realizes that they need to move forward a little bit here and try to get that quarterback position fixed. So I think it's come together. But I think Omar would probably, I won't say twist his arm, but probably suggestively sold McCarthy to him if I was just a guessing person.
He's Mark Kabali. He guessed when he said he thought, well, maybe he didn't guess. He was hearing good intel that he thought Mike McCarthy was the front runner and a serious candidate. And much to the rest of the area's chagrin, he was proven right about 3 hours ago today when McCarthy was named just the fourth Steelers head coach since 1969.
Blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while there, Mulsey, right?
Mark, I know you've been busy today, so thank you for coming on for a couple minutes. Appreciate it.
All right, see you, Mulsey.
All right, let's check fan weather very quickly here. Final hour that you're going to have me. I'll be on until 6 o'clock. Fan weather brought to you by Myers Law Group, Pittsburgh's choice for affordable legal solutions. It's cold. Temperatures hovering around 13, but it's going to get colder again at night. And then we could have as much as a foot of snow from what I am seeing on the latest models from most of the viewing and listening area here fall overnight and throughout the day tomorrow on Sunday. All right, it's been a very busy day. If you've been on the lines, appreciate the patience. Take a quick break here. 412-928-9370 is the phone number. Get a lot more of your phone calls. Continued reaction. It's Mike McCarthy. He's the man for the Steelers on a reported 5-year deal per Jerry Dulac of the Post-Gazette. What do you think of the hire? Are you somebody out there? Are you one of the few and the proud who actually thinks that this is a good move and that this is going to work well for the Steelers? If so, show your work. 412-928-9370. It's Mulsey on an emergency. The Steelers just hired Mike McCarthy show on 93.7 The Fan.
Now, fan headlines powered by Bowser Chevrolet.
Pitt basketball fell 81-72 today to NC State at the Peterson Event Center. For more, go to 937thefan.com. Fan headlines are powered by Bowser Chevrolet.
Looking for an unforgettable Valentine's Day experience? This year, trade chocolates for casings at Keystone Shooting Center. Start together in the classroom, learning safety and fundamentals. Then move to the range with Keystone Shooting Center's expert instructors for hands-on guidance. Your firearm and ammo are all provided. One fee covers you and your partner. Limited spots are available for sessions on February 13th and 14th at 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. Give the gift of a new adventure. Sign up today at KeystoneShootingCenter.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
As a detective, I've solved many mysteries, but this one has me stumped.
Why does NJM Insurance remain silent in a world full of catchy jingles?
What are they up to? It's suspicious.
Yet their policyholders all agree.
NJM is amazing. When things go wrong, they do what's right.
But is the world ready for an ad break that's jingle-free? Tune in to Baffling Mysteries, where the story of the missing jingle unfolds.
This fictional podcast is brought to you by NJM. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
93.7 The Fan is cleared by aquickdrain.com.
Mike Rowe here with a random fact. More than half of the homes that have basements in North America will experience water damage. It's true. Whether it's basement moisture, flooding, or bowing walls, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys. They're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Baker's Waterproofing is now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Here's Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan's Fan About Town. If you're over 60 and looking for a weight loss program built specifically for you, Awaken 180 is your solution with Awaken 180 Golden, a new 1 to 3 month program for fast weight loss tailored to those over 60. Online at awaken180weightloss.com. Schley Deck and Fence Company. Call today for an estimate on your rotten, rusted, paint chipping railings. Get your railings safe again by spring. Call 412-515-6575. Schley Deck and Fence. SchleyDeckCompany.com. Looking for an incredible Pittsburgh fresh-made hoagie? Visit Tim's Corner Market in Beachview. Fresh house-made bread stacked high with the finest meats and premium toppings and packed with Pittsburgh flavor. The hoagie you didn't know you needed at Tim's Corner Market on Broadway Avenue in Beachview. For more information, visit 937thefan.com.
We're gonna be so late for the concert at Point State Park. We should be there by now.
I just need to stop for gas real quick. I know a cheap place down Liberty Avenue.
Are you serious? We're gonna miss the show because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is great. It's a free app that gets you cash back when you buy gas.
Wait, you mean I can get money back just for buying gas?
Yep, and it really works. I've actually made around $200 this year already. Now pull over so you can download Upside before we miss the concert.
Pulling over?
You had me at $200.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you buy gas in the Steel City. Use promo code PIT to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill up. Get the Upside app and use promo code PIT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code PIT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Are you ignoring repeated notices that you owe PA Turnpike tolls? Think it will just go away? Wrong. Unpaid tolls don't vanish. They stack up fast. And so do the penalties. Suspended registration, mounting fines, court action. You can't dodge it. You can't outrun it. It's time to pay your fair share. Call 877-736-6727 to set up a payment plan. The PA Turnpike. Pay now. It's the law.
New year, new ride, better value. South Hills Kia is bringing you outstanding January lease deals. Upgrade to a 2025 Kia Telluride S all-wheel drive for just $359 a month for 36 months with $39.99 due at signing. Or take home a 2026 Kia Sportage LX all-wheel drive. Only $229 a month for 24 months with $39.99 due at signing. 10,000 miles per year. Lease offer excludes taxes and fees. No security deposit required. Hurry, these January lease offers end February 2nd, 2026. Visit southhillskia.net and start the new year behind the wheel of a brand new Kia.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My best advice to you when hiring a lawyer for your injury case is simple. If you know court personnel, ask them who they'd hire. They know. If you know an insurance adjuster, ask them. They know. And then ask them about us. Ask them about Morgan & Morgan. They know. I look forward to talking to you soon. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm for the people. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Dorn Dickerson here. Protect your most valuable asset, your home sweet home with PJ Fitzpatrick. They have the experience and know how to ensure the structural integrity and energy efficiency of your roof. Trust PJ Fitzpatrick's 45 years of experience, thousands of five-star reviews, and lifetime guarantee on materials and labor. Our professionals install most roofs in just one day. PJ Fitzpatrick has a variety of financing packages that work with any budget. Visit trustpj.com today. That's trustpj.com.
Ring in the new year during the Start New sale at Jim Shorkey Mitsubishi, North Hills, and Jim Shorkey Mitsubishi, North Huntington. Get great savings on remaining 2025 models. Drive home a new 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander for 0% APR for 60 months. Or get a 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV for 0% APR for 72 months. Call 412-453-8035 for offer details.
84 Lumber is your one-stop destination for top quality materials and personalized service. Whether you're a seasoned contractor or a first-time do-it-yourselfer, 84 Lumber is open to the public and ready to help you with your project from estimate to build. Their 14 Pittsburgh area locations are open on Saturdays for your convenience. Don't wait. Visit your local 84 Lumber to stock up on supplies this weekend. And let's get building together.
Cats are masters at using up their 9 lives, like chasing laser pointers into walls or jumping onto high shelves. But the one thing cats never do, text while driving. So be like a cat and protect your one and only life. Don't text and drive.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Ring in the new year during the Start New sale at Jim Shorkey Mitsubishi, North Hills, and Jim Shorkey Mitsubishi, North Huntington. Get great savings on remaining 2025 models. Drive home a new 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander for 0% APR for 60 months. Or get a 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV for 0% APR for 72 months. Call 412-453-8035 for offer details.
Pennsylvania's statewide tobacco-free recovery initiative supports your local radio station and reminds those in substance use disorder recovery that learning tobacco-free coping skills improves the chance of long-term recovery by 25%, and that more than 70% of Pennsylvanians in recovery believe these skills are helpful for both recovery and mental health. Become tobacco-free recovery strong and learn more at tobaccofreerecoverypa.com or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Sponsored by the Philadelphia Department of Health.
Text us on the Edgar Snyder and Associates text line at 412-928-9370. Edgar Snyder and Associates reminds you to text responsibly.
PNC Bank,
brilliantly boring since 1865.
Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan, built by Window Nation. Home of the buy two, get two free offer.
Bring in the new year with a little magic from Spitzer Acura in McMurray. Our Genie Pandas making car buying wishes come true. Want an exclusive lifetime powertrain warranty and complimentary maintenance at no extra charge? Granted. Want to enjoy complimentary service loaners and rewards in our easy-to-use Spitzer VIP app? Granted. Spitzer Acura delivers more power, more precision, more luxury. Luxury should come with New Year perks, and at Spitzer Acura, it does. Spitzer Acura in McMurray or online at spitzeracura.com. Not available on select new commercial and EV models. See dealer for details.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon. Hello? You won't believe where I am. Are you running? Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture. And then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
As a detective, I've solved many mysteries, but this one has me stumped.
Why does NJM Insurance remain silent in a world full of catchy jingles?
What are they up to? It's suspicious.
Yet their policyholders all agree.
NJM is amazing. When things go wrong, they do what's right.
But is the world ready for an ad break that's jingle-free? Tune in to Baffling Mysteries, where the story of the missing jingle unfolds.
This fictional podcast is brought to you by NJM. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
Your hometown building partner since 1956. 84 Lumber. Visit 84lumber.com. HD1 Pittsburgh, an Odyssey sports station. Live from the Jim Shorkey Mitsubishi.com studios, North Huntington and North Hills. Always live and free on the Odyssey app. Now, fan headlines powered by Bowser Chevrolet.
All right, you've probably heard the news by now. Steelers hire Mike McCarthy, Greenfield's own, formerly of the Cowboys and the Packers. He is their 4th head coach since 1969. Per the Post-Gazette's Jerry Dulac, McCarthy a 5-year deal with the Steelers. More fan headlines powered by Bowser Chevrolet at 937thefan.com.
Live and local, even on the weekends. Let's go! Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan, Pittsburgh's hometown sports station.
Getting right back into it with you here. Chris Mueller, 412-928-9370 is the phone number if you want to get involved. That's the fan text line as well. It's brought to you by Edgar Snyder & Associates, a personal injury law firm where they always say there's never a fee unless we get money for you. Joe Starky tomorrow on what is going to be a snowy day in southwest Pennsylvania, most likely. He's hosting from 12 to 2 in case you missed him earlier. He said he's going to walk to the station because he actually can. I know where Joe lives, and he could walk here. So he'll be on, and he'll be covering this in even more detail. Now, we've heard from a lot of people. Mark Kabali, credit to him, from the Pat McAfee show, he nailed this. He said, don't laugh at this hire, or don't laugh at this interview that he's getting. This is serious interest on the Steelers' part. It's not some courtesy thing. He was proven right. I think most of us just wanted him to be proven wrong. Before I go back to the phones on this, I have raised a theory here, and I have to be self-aware and say that it might just be cope on my part, right? Because I think we all want to believe that maybe that our teams that we cheer for are run by rational actors, and that maybe there's something out of their control, some extenuating circumstance that causes them to act in the way that they did. And I have floated that idea, given the timing of this hiring and the relative lack of interest around Mike McCarthy otherwise, that Chris Shula and Nate Scheelhaus, who I think were 1-2 on most people's lists of preferred candidates, both quietly told the Steelers no. As crazy as that might sound to us, I wanted to believe that maybe those guys just said, no, we're in a good spot. Scheelhaus maybe said, I'm not ready yet. I heard one person float the theory, maybe Chris Shula doesn't want to be the man to fire Mike Tomlin, or to follow Mike Tomlin, excuse me. And I thought, yeah, that would make sense, except that locally he would be greeted as like a conquering hero. Maybe with the national media, Chris Shula would have had tough shoes to fill. The truth of the matter is the most likely outcome here is that this is what Art Rooney wanted, and this is what Omar Khan wanted. Shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. No need to make deviations or take turns. I mean, I can come up with all the theories I want as to why other maybe more desirable candidates, maybe more exciting candidates fell by the wayside. Could just be that the Steelers did the number of interviews that they felt they needed to do and then hired their guy. The problem with that, of course, is that gives you no faith that there are rational actors running the franchise. 412-928-9370. I think our guy first here, Carson in Virginia Beach, has been waiting the longest. Let's get to him. Hey, Carson.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. I think that it is an average hire. I think they could have done a lot better. I think they could have done a lot worse. But the good news here is he's an offensive coach, and I think that's what the league is turning to. Maybe he can develop a quarterback, Will Howard, or at the very least,
I would not put my faith in Will Howard if I were you. I would at least put my faith in somebody. I don't want them to draft Ty Simpson this year. I have been scared off after watching him look terrible against Indiana and not great other times. He might be able to get a quarterback. Let me ask you this, though, quickly, Carson. You say he's an offensive guy. It's all true. Like, I can point to his numbers. He ran some good offenses in Green Bay and Dallas, great offenses. But if he was an offensive guy that molds quarterbacks, there are teams with better quarterbacks than what the Steelers have. One in their own division, the Ravens, and one, the Buffalo Bills, who might want an offensive guy to nudge their team over the top. Why was nobody else even so much as interested outside of the Tennessee Titans in Mike McCarthy?
Well, I think his age might have something to do with that. I don't know that.
John Harbaugh got the Giants job. He's the same age as McCarthy. He's actually older now that I think about it.
I think John Harbaugh is a better coach. I don't think there was any way the Steelers were going to hire him. I would have actually preferred like a Kevin Stefanski, but of course they didn't even interview him. But I think that was probably the leading cause of it was his age. But my hope here is that he can at least stabilize the offense, which is something Mike Tomlin did not do, and I don't think he could have done it since Ben left.
Well,
and then maybe
I think he might be able to make them a little bit more respectable offensively, but that's completely contingent, Carson, and thanks for the call, on him finding a quarterback that can kind of run what he wants. Does that mean Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers at 42 and almost 43 is just not that dude anymore. We all know this. He's a very different player than he was in his late 30s, pre-Achilles. Like, that's just a fact. All right, we've got some heavy hitters still on the lines, and we've got the heaviest hitter so far, at least in terms of Twitter following, who's going to join us at 5:15. I was wondering if he was, like, buried in a snowdrift somehow in a freak snowstorm that had already happened in New York City. Andrew Filipony is set to come on, I believe, at 5:15 if he has successfully returned my text in the affirmative. But it's likely we're going to get Pony on here to give his 2 cents about this. Spoiler alert, I don't think they're positive. Lou in Staten Island. Hi, Lou.
Hey, Chris. I called you yesterday.
Yes,
and
you did.
I told you get a better chance. Okay, all right. I just cannot believe what is happening here.
Wait,
and
what was it yesterday? You've got a better chance of what than Mike McCarthy getting hired? You were trying to,
getting a sunburn.
That's
getting
right,
a sunburn in Pittsburgh.
No, my head is looking.
Shame on me.
Yeah.
Shame on me for being naive and the rest of us being naive, because the more I thought about this being on hold, it's right in front of us. And as disgusting as this is going to sound, this is what it is. They did not get told no by any of these young coordinators out in Los Angeles. That did not happen. They wanted this guy. Why? Because he breeds exactly what we've had to endure the last 10 years and what apparently the owner has just proven to us what is acceptable to him and what he thinks is okay as an organization, which is mediocrity, and his deranged brain being actually he thinks that we're in it technically, which we all know is all a bunch of crap. And I also think he's a coward in this way. If you hire an unknown young person, there's much more of a risk than going 4-13 because you don't know what you're technically getting. You only get so much out of an interview compared to hiring a 62-year-old man who's been in the league and is very similar to the coach that just apparently quit. And I'll say this, and I am so tired of being upset at this team and being frustrated. But 10 years, I've been waiting for the moment that finally comes. And within 10 days, the owner rips all of that away from us.
Lou, you know what they hit you
fans.
with? You know what they hit you with, even though McCarthy's an offensive guy? They said, Lou, you're so excited. Meet the new boss, baby. Same as the old boss, just on a different side of the football. That's what they hit you with. That's what they hit everybody with. And Lou spoke directly to what I started the hour by saying. It's comforting maybe to think, no. They got told no. They didn't really want to do this. The longer you think about it, this is exactly what they wanted. This is what Art has decided is good enough. Mike McCarthy's going to run, most likely, unless he cannot find anybody to play quarterback, he's going to probably run a better offense than we've seen in a while, because that's what he does. That's how he got to be a head coach. But the end results for Mike McCarthy haven't been any different than they were for Mike Tomlin. So meet the new boss. He's different side of the ball. He's a little heavier set. In the fundamental way, he's same as the old boss. Jeff in South Park, PM team number 2 fan.
Lou in Staten Island gave me a good lead-in by calling Rooney a coward, because that's what I called him a few days ago, and that's exactly what this is. And first of all, Mulsey, let me say this about you. Good on you for coming in on your day off and doing this and not letting these cowards off the hook, because you brought up the whole news dump thing earlier. You're 100% right. 100% right. They knew that this wasn't going to be a popular hire, and they're trying to hide in plain sight. And I'm glad, like beacons of hope, like you. I can't believe I'm calling you a beacon of hope.
Yeah, you could probably save the beacon of hope stuff, but I think there's something to I didn't say it just flippantly. I think there's something to the idea that tacitly on some level they knew this would be enormously unpopular.
Do you remember when the Penguins were going to sign Jack Johnson, and like they knew that was going to be wildly unpopular, and so they tried to get out in front of it and leak some stuff ahead of time, like his coursing numbers weren't as bad as you would think or something like that. That's not this, but it just reminds me of that. Anyhow, you guys were all upset that they didn't they didn't bring in for an interview Kevin Stefanski, and I wasn't really on that boat because I just thought it would be a waste of time, and it was because of the optics of hiring the guy that was fired by the Browns as your next head coach. They weren't even going to waste their time doing that. Let me ask you this. How are the optics any better of hiring the guy that was fired by the Cowboys and the Packers? And I know the Cowboys aren't the Browns, but they're not that far off from being a joke. They haven't been to an NFC championship game.
Jeff, hold on. You're pulling at a good thread here. They haven't been to one since 1996 when the Panthers beat them, and McCarthy only won one playoff game in his last 7 seasons as a coach in 2 different places. You just pulled at a good thread, and I got to let you go. I've kind of laughed sometimes, but maybe not completely, and haven't dismissed the idea that the Steelers don't want to hire anybody who worked for the Raiders in any serious long-term capacity. They don't really want to hire too many people who have affiliations with the Cowboys, like these historical rivals. I think that's part of the reason they didn't want to bring Stefanski in. He just got let go by the Browns, even though the Browns are a trash fire. I mean, it's not a great look that the guy got fired by Jerry Jones, who I think most people here would look down their nose and say, well, that's not a good owner. And you're saying, no, we'll give him a room at the inn. Not great. 412-928-9370. Also at 93.7 The Fan on Twitter. Fan Twitter brought to you by South Hills Kia, Peters Township. Visit them, southhillskia.net. Andrew Filipony, my partner in crime Monday through Friday, who is currently in New York City and hoping he's not going to be snowed in on Monday and unable to get back home on time. He's going to join us in 5 minutes. We'll get his take on the Steelers hiring Mike McCarthy. No, this is not a joke. I wish it was, but it's not. Here's a fan headline.
Now, fan headlines powered by Bowser Chevrolet.
Jerry Dulac also reporting that the hiring of Mike McCarthy has, quote, nothing to do with the possibility of bringing Aaron Rodgers back for 2026 per sources. Are you sure about that? For more, go to 937thefan.com. Fan headlines are powered by Bowser Chevrolet.
Nobody ever wants to buy a new roof, but sometimes you just have to. Call the Pickle Gherkin Roofing. They answer the phone 24/7. There's no high-pressure home sales pitches, no BS, just quality, honest work at a fair price. They have 3 flexible pricing packages to fit any budget that's right for you. The Pickle is a Diamond-certified contractor with Atlas Shingles and offers a 50-year non-prorated warranty. Gherkin Roofing and Contracting. They are your local contractor for your next roofing, siding, or gutter project. Call thepickle.com. PlanetFitness.com.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to get stronger just around the corner, so you can give everything you've got. Whether you want to crush a few reps before class with our expanded strength equipment or sweat it out on your way home from work. With over 2,800 locations, there's a Planet Fitness close to you, and most are open 24 hours. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 30th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Must finance HMF low APR tier 1 through 2. Plus tax, acquisition fee, title, plates, and dealer dock fee. Must finance HMF dealer's choice for Santa Fe rebate. Not all buyers will qualify in stock units only. Offers end 1/2/26.
Shift into the new year with a new Hyundai from Mike Camlin Hyundai. Drive the new 2026 Hyundai Tucson or Santa Fe Hybrid. Both available with 0.99% financing for up to 60 months. Or receive up to $1,500 in rebates.
MikeCamlinHyundai.com.
All Mike Camlin Hyundais are backed by owner assurance. America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles. And the Mike Camlin Advantage. Oil changes for life.
Your holiday decor is down and suddenly your house looks very January. Kohl's can help you bring the spark back. No twinkle lights needed. Save on bedding that feels like a snow day. Decor that'll boost the mood. And Shark vacuums because, yes, you're still finding pine needles. Get an extra 15% off some of your faves store-wide. And beat those winter blahs at Kohl's. Select styles. Offer ends January 25th. Some exclusions apply. Coupons do not apply to Shark. See store or Kohls.com for details.
Shopping for replacement windows? Metropolitan Window Company elevates your shopping experience.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you'll experience personalized knowledge, expertise, and professionalism from our first visit to your home until our craftsmen complete your installation.
We're the window company that people want in their homes, and our exclusive Infinity by Marvin 100% fiberglass windows are the windows people love.
They're built for life. They are the strongest, longest-lasting windows you can buy.
And we have a great selection of colors and finishes. Experience Metropolitan Window Company. Stop by our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at
412-655-8411. PA 1565.
The 65th Annual World of Wheels Custom Auto Show, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts, January 23rd through 25th. Ticket Lawrence Convention Center, Pittsburgh. Discount tickets exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. See America's finest hot rods, customs, trucks, motorcycles. The cars are the stars. All weekend. World of Wheels Custom Auto Show, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts, January 23rd through 25th. Discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts stores.
Hey, Crowley here for Sullivan Super Service. When your drain is clogged, you need help. Sullivan Super Service has the training and equipment to solve your problems fast. Over bridges and through tunnels, Sullivan Super Service has been saving homeowners in Pittsburgh from sewer and drain issues for more than 60 years. So when you need a hero, call Sullivan Super Service. And right now, they're offering a $64 drain clearing with a free camera inspection. Let their family take care of yours. Family owned since 1964, serving all of Allegheny County. Sullivan Super Service.
New year, new rewards on DraftKings Casino. Start the year with boosted rewards. For a limited time, all players get a free chance at 50,000 in credits every day with daily rewards rocket on DraftKings Casino. Take your free chance at an out-of-this-world reward. Download the app now and sign up with code THEFAN. And then launch 3 rockets for a chance at 50,000 in credits. Come back to launch rockets daily for more rewards. The crown is yours. In partnership with DraftKings Casino. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older. Physically present in Pennsylvania only. Eligibility restrictions apply. 3 launches per day for rewards. Launches expire each day at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Non-withdrawable rewards and amounts vary per launch and are subject to game and expiration limits. Terms at casino.draftkings.com/promos. Limited time offer.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
Live from the Shorkey Mitsubishi.com studios, North Huntington and North Hills. If it matters in Pittsburgh sports, we're talking about it. Even on the weekend. That's cool. Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan, Pittsburgh's hometown sports station.
I've been willing to give Mike
extension on his contract until 2027 in March. Did he ask for that?
No, I'm not going to get into his contract at this point. I was certainly willing to, take another run at it next year with Mike, and that's what I was expecting to talk about yesterday, but obviously went in a different direction.
How ready was Art Rooney to run it back with Mike Tomlin next year? His new coach is just another guy named Mike, who's coached for a very long time and generally struggles to win playoff games. He just happens to be an offensive side of the ball guy. Greenfield's own Mike McCarthy. I think in balance, Mike McCarthy, solid football coach. His career resume would suggest that. He won a Super Bowl. He won almost 61% of his games. He's 500 coach in the playoffs. I'd give him a B- as a head coach in balance. For this hire, F. I give him an F. We got Pony on the other end of it, Charlie. He thinks he's in and ready to go. So that could be a bit of an issue.
Nothing on mine.
He believes that he is in. Uh-oh. So we could have an issue here. We might have to have him just...
So unlike McLovin,
yes,
who was actually in, Pony is not.
Correct. Here's what we're going to do. He said, I'm going to ask you to troubleshoot this with him if you could text him somehow. And we are, in the meantime, going to go back to the phones at 412-928-9370 and put on a big-time heavy hitter. One of the few people I would trust to do as good of a job as Pony at giving an opinion. That is our friend Daryl in Houston on 93.7 The Fan. Hello, Daryl.
Man, thank goodness for you, Mosey, on a Saturday that has just been, I don't even know how to describe it. I think I told my friend, I said, welcome to pre-Noel Pittsburgh Steelers. But I'll see this, and I'll take a different approach. I will say this, and no more reverence for the Rooney family, no more sports royalty for the Rooney family. He is no different than Bob Nutting, in my opinion. There is no more gratis and no more deference for the Rooney family as of today. You are in the same bucket as Bob Nutting. You just have to spin to the cap, but your decision making is the same. There is no reason, and Omar, we're watching you, Fredo. You're on the clock too, because that fire Tomlin and fire McCarthy could be fire Omar. We can't fire Rooney, but we can fire you because you're on the clock. Because you cannot tell me that you didn't have a major influence in this decision making, and that's fine. Because if you, Omar, cannot have the gumption, the foresight, and the forward thinking to look at those two young coaches. Well, I agree with Lou in Staten Island. I don't think whoever said that. I don't think you just turn down those jobs or opportunities for those jobs in the positions you're in. If you can't convince or influence or make the decisions to spend that money to get them to be more of a candidate for your job, for your position, then you need to go too. Because this is just you're still riding on trains where everybody else is taking planes, and that's just the bottom line. And at the end of the day, I'm done. I'm not spending a dime on the Steelers. If you're grifting, and I know you're grifting me, I need to let you go. Because one thing he told us, one thing Art told us, when he said I wanted to run it back, we just didn't hear him as loudly as we should have. We didn't pay attention as intensely as we should have. And that's on us. But now we have an opportunity to make a statement and a decision. No hate on Mike McCarthy. And all this, he's a quarterback whisperer and all that. It's easy to whisper when you have Dak Prescott and Aaron Rodgers. Those are generational talents. You didn't, you talk about Aaron Brooks. Who cares about Aaron Brooks? We don't even know what happened. That's 30 years ago. Who cares about that? We'll find out what the Steelers are made of when we start saying no to merch, no to tickets, no to traveling and having Steelers wave and pay that extra Steeler tax. It's over with for me as of today. I'm done with him.
Daryl, appreciate the candor, as always. I don't think many people are going to go to that same extreme. Daryl's actually in, Houston, Texas, not Chartiers Houston School District, for the record. So he's like a far-flung member of Steelers Nation. But I think there's going to be, a raw nerve here for a while. I think Mike McCarthy would have to come in, figure out the quarterback situation more or less immediately and win a playoff game to calm this down. I don't even think a bunch of 10-7s and they get there and then they get beat. That's not going to make anybody happy. That's not going to satisfy anybody's, I would say fury right now, because I would say we are approaching like fury territory for how mad people are about this. 412-928-9370. Still trying to hail Andrew Filipony, who wanted to do the video link. I think he has scuffled with the video link so far. I was shown a blue screen and a text message there while Daryl was pontificating and giving his big take. So we might have to go back to the old-fashioned phone here. For a guy who I would say it is stunning to me that news seems to break of a major variety whenever Pony's not here. I think the Kenny Pickett stuff happened when he was not working, like the trade request specifically. I want to say that they signed Patrick Queen on a day he wasn't working. Now, today, none of us are supposed to be working, but he is not even in the area. He's in another state. And so it's just kind of a weird guarantee that stuff tends to happen when he is not here. Quickly to Alice, who's been waiting patiently. Hello, Alice.
Hi. Actually, I've been out shopping trying to find some groceries, but I've been in the car for a long time, so you didn't have me on hold too long. I was in a state of shock. I just happened to see a picture of Mike McCarthy flash across my phone while I was parking earlier, and I thought it was just, they brought him in for an interview like everybody else's pictures. I was completely shocked. It was the last thing I expected. But you know what? It makes sense because when you said earlier about a comfort, it's comfort for them. They have a 70-some-year-old team physician from Pittsburgh. They hired his brother as a defensive coordinator who was a disaster. He was from Pittsburgh. They've got Omar Khan, who's married to a woman from Menneson who was somebody I went to high school with, their sister. He's actually has a tie around here. Plus, he had a tie with Mike McCarthy for years. So it's comfort for them. And Art Rooney's become like a dinosaur now. And our team, that's what our team is now. Our team is like back in, like he would not get with the times. We thought we were going to take a younger coach, somebody who would breathe life into this team. You've got another retread, another one who had losing records for how many years? The last thing he did was win a Super Bowl. And I agree with everything that you said, and I think this hire was an F. And I know it seems like I don't know anybody that's happy with it. I just texted my nephew who's out in Salt Lake City.
I've seen, Alice, thanks for the call. I've seen like 5 people happy about it. One guy I know is basically from Greenfield and is like openly admitting that he cheers for the Pittsburgh guy to succeed. I have not seen many people just happy based on they think Mike McCarthy was the best option. I think I can safely say this guy that we're going to put on the hotline right now did not think Mike McCarthy was the best choice for this job. That would be Andrew Filipony, who's in New York City. How was Stranger Things the musical?
It was not a musical.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was a play.
A stage production.
But, I mean, is there a more appropriate place to get the news that Mike McCarthy is becoming the Steelers head coach?
No, there really isn't. That's Stranger Things season 6. It's actually being extended for one more year. It's next year's Steelers season.
So I'm in the play, and you can't look at your phone when you're in the play. And my texts are going crazy, and I'm thinking, is this more updates about the snow that's coming in? Is there like a text chain that I'm on? There's just ridiculous chatter going back and forth because you can't even check your phone in there. I knew it wasn't an emergency because then I would have just gotten phone calls. So none of that, although I guess some people would say this is a bit of a Steelers emergency. And I walk out during the intermission with Giannotti, who was there with me, and it's just hundreds of text messages from people saying the same thing. Holy bleep. They hired Mike McCarthy. Can you believe it? And I actually could, Chris. I guess I'm not as surprised as a lot of other people are that have called into the show so far this afternoon.
Mainly because you think that this is, well, I know you took Kabali more seriously than I did, partly because I didn't want to take him seriously. I was doing a little bit of a cope take here to start like the second hour of this show that I've impromptu performed here. And that was that maybe the Rams guys just told them quietly, no, thanks, we're not interested. And unlike the Browns, it doesn't get out publicly. But the longer I've sat and thought about that, the more I think that's just me literally trying to come up with any kind of positive spin because it seems like this was the guy Omar and Art wanted.
I mean, what if Shieldhouse takes the Browns job? That's possible. It looks like he's not out of the running for that.
Nope.
I mean, what it looks like to me is they've had their minds made up on Mike McCarthy. And they went through the Zoom calls just in case somebody really knocked them off their feet, just to, like, cover their bases a little bit. And then they interviewed other candidates to comply with the NFL rules. And once they were in compliance, they almost immediately hired Mike McCarthy. So I think some combination of Omar and Art, and I think a lot of this is Omar, frankly. And I think Omar wants to work with Mike. I think he's comfortable with Mike. They've known each other for a long time. McCarthy's admitted that they're good friends. And he's from here, and he's won, and he beat the Steelers in the Super Bowl. So that was not going to be a tough sell on Art Rooney.
That last part should be completely irrelevant. I know you know that, but that should be a completely irrelevant thing that they beat the Steelers in a Super Bowl when this station was like barely a year old.
But he's going to bring it up either on Monday or Tuesday that Mike McCarthy is a Super Bowl winning coach, and he'll probably even say that his resume is not all that different from Mike Tomlin's. And Art loves Mike Tomlin. And Mike Tomlin was disappointed in Mike Tomlin in the end. Art really wasn't. So, you know, when we started talking about this as a real thing this past week, one of the things I said to you was I could see this being Art's bridge to his son eventually taking over, where he hires a stopgap coach, and then 5 years from now, Mike McCarthy retires, Art steps down, and then Danny Rooney hires the coach that is more in line with the Knowles and Tomlins and Cowers, where he goes for a guy that he can work with and grow old with. So it's like, I look at this move and I think to myself that this idea that fans had and media had that Art's son was going to do a lot of the heavy lifting on this hire, I don't believe that for 1 second now with this end result.
Well, there's no way, because I don't think he would have done this. I also think I understand like that Art would not have trouble squaring this idea, because he would just say, I believe Mike McCarthy can deliver us a winner, even though he's delivered exactly one more playoff win than Mike Tomlin in his last 7 years as a coach. The idea that Art would say, though, I'm not in the business basically of like taking a year of not competing to try to be better positioned to compete. I don't know, man. You have Mike McCarthy as your coach. I think it's going to be pretty damn hard to compete next year unless you somehow have somebody accidentally trade you Joe Burrow.
Well, I think they're going to try to run it back with McCarthy and Rodgers.
I think that's a terrible idea, because Aaron Rodgers isn't the Aaron Rodgers that Mike McCarthy coached, just flat out. You know that too.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, everybody but the people that are making the decisions, I think, feel that way.
Do you think they're more or less likely to draft a quarterback in this year's draft now that they've made this specific hire?
I don't rule it out, but we know it's not going to be with their first pick.
No Ty Simpson to Pittsburgh? Mike McCarthy's the man to mold him.
I don't want to believe that, but I guess we don't know. Like, it sounds like one of the early things that the NFL media is trying to get out about this hire is that Mike McCarthy told the Steelers that he was intrigued by Will Howard. And my opinion on that is he's telling them something that they want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
They want to think that they have their guy. They want to believe that they have a diamond in the rough. Steelers fans want to believe that. I want to believe that. And I hope that didn't factor into hiring him and thinking, well, wait a minute, this guy thinks we have something in this quarterback. He knows quarterbacks. Let's bring him in here to groom him. But I think his opinions on quarterbacks carry a lot of weight with Omar. So to answer your question, like, if he really does believe that about Howard and it wasn't just lip service or BS to get the job, well, then they would be less likely to draft a quarterback because he believes he's got a possible answer in that room right now.
Pony, I'm not going to ask you to letter grade a hire because I'm assuming you will manage to make it back to Pittsburgh on time for Monday's show, and we'll do all manner of things like that on Monday. So go and enjoy, hopefully, a very nice, relaxing dinner in the Big Apple.
Well, I'm not going to be there on Monday. My flight already got pushed back.
I told you. Yep. I told you.
My wife is already driven back to Pittsburgh, so she's probably getting there now. So I've already talked to content Craig about the ways that I will ensure that I'm on the air and hopefully on camera. But I pulled a Kabali and not a Kabali. I pulled the Tyler Kennedy in this interview. I could not get the video function on my phone.
You were scuffling badly with that. You sent me just a grim-looking picture. Well, in any event, have a couple drinks and have a nice dinner.
See ya, Chris. Goodbye.
Goodbye. I'm just dropping them right off there. All right, quick break here. More of your phone calls right up to the top of the hour. Mike McCarthy, newest Steelers head coach. What do you make of it? What do you think it says about the next 3 to 5 years of this franchise's history? Charlie Borges has a headline first for you right now.
Fan headlines powered by Bowser Chevrolet.
Mike McCarthy is the new Pittsburgh Steelers head coach, according to Jerry Dulac. It is a 5-year contract and has nothing to do with trying to keep Aaron Rodgers here in Pittsburgh. For more, go to 937thefan.com. Fan headlines are powered by Bowser Chevrolet.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-908-8646 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-908-8646. That's 800-908-8646. What do you have to lose? Call 800-908-8646. Again, 800-908-8646.
Start the new year in a brand new ride. South Hills Kia is kicking off January with incredible lease deals. Drive home a 2025 Kia Sorento S all-wheel drive. Only $299 a month for 24 months with $39.99 due at signing. Or choose the 2025 Kia Seltos LX all-wheel drive. Just $205 a month for 24 months with $34.99 due at signing. 10,000 miles per year. Lease offers exclude taxes and fees. No security deposit required. Hurry, these January lease offers end February 2nd, 2026. Visit southhillskia.net and start the new year behind the wheel of a brand new Kia.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature-Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature-Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Smooth accelerators. When that light turns green, you're off. Like a warm knife through firm butter. Going from 0 to the speed limit in an appropriate amount of time. Sure, your car has horsepower, but your horses prance around as silky smooth as your right foot. Fancy Prancerton. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
Winter is the perfect time to upgrade your home, and West Shore Home is making it easier than ever with their winter savings event. This week, they're doing free installation on all projects. That's right, free. This includes bathroom remodels, new windows, doors, even full house flooring. Plus, lock in special financing and get your project started with no money down. Schedule your free, no-obligation consultation right now and lock in a price that's good for an entire year. Visit westshorehome.com/fan. That's westshorehome.com/fan.
Mike Rowe here with a fun fact. Did you know that 50% of the air that you breathe inside your home comes from your crawl space? Yeah. Whether your crawl space is wet, musty, or your floors are bouncy, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to repair your crawl space. Baker's Waterproofing is now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Bring in the new year during the Start New sale at Jim Shorkey Mitsubishi, North Hills, and Jim Shorkey Mitsubishi, North Huntington. Get great savings on remaining 2025 models. Drive home a new 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander for 0% APR for 60 months. Or get a 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV for 0% APR for 72 months. Call 412-453-8035 for offer details.
Ready for action, basketball fans? BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, is giving players another reason to hit the court this season. BetMGM is adding extra excitement to every basket, every slam dunk, and every buzzer-beating shot with special promotions, new features, and more. Log in throughout the season to find odds boost tokens, no sweat tokens, and same-game parlay boost tokens in your account to amplify your winnings. Enjoy enhanced product features like dark mode, too. Log in to BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, all throughout the basketball season to see what's new. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. BetMGM.com for T's and C's. 21 plus to wager. Pennsylvania only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 7 days.
There's never a fee unless we get money for you. This is Attorney Edgar Snyder, and you've probably heard me say that over the years. For over 40 years, that's the promise my law firm has made to our clients, and we're still keeping that promise today. We've recovered over $2 billion for our clients and their families. That's money for medical bills, money for lost wages, money for pain and suffering, money that we'll fight to make sure you get. Contact us now. We're here 24/7. And of course, there's never a fee unless we get money for you.
93.7 The Fan is cleared by aquickdrain.com. Sports don't stop for the weekend, and neither do we.
We are going to have so much fun this weekend.
Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan, Pittsburgh's hometown sports station.
All right, it's Steelers hired a head coach day, and that's why I'm in here on a Saturday afternoon. Chris Mueller. It's actually Saturday evening now. Evening starts at 5 o'clock in the winter. Them's the rules. I don't make them. I'll check fan weather for you right now. It's brought to you by Myers Law Group, Pittsburgh's choice for affordable legal solutions. It's going to be cold. It's going to snow a lot tomorrow. And this jaunty little number here is going to continue to play this new music we've got here.
Actually, this is one of the weekend music beds. You're not here on the weekends.
No, I'm not.
This is what normally plays on the weekend.
A shout out to our guy Charlie Borges, who has been juggling about 12 to 15 different things at all times on today's show. He was going to be producing what he thought was a nice quiet Saturday. It exploded, and he has done excellent work on the other side. So shout out to Mr. Gorgeous Charlie Borges. May all of your favorite Scandinavian hockey players on the Devils, if there are any, score goals. I don't know. You're tweeting about a Finnish hockey player last night. That's just makes me laugh.
Lenny Hamanaho.
Yeah, oh yeah, Lenny Hamanaho.
First NHL goal. Welcome to the National.
Awesome. Connor is in Harrison City. Right back to the phones we go for as long as we've got left on this show. Hey, Connor.
How's it going there, Chris? Thanks for having me.
Yep, man. What's up?
Well, in reference to the Mike McCarthy hire, man, I am not a believer in this. I feel like this was like a complacent hire, like a scared hire, if that makes sense. Like, we just went with what was okay.
Definitely a continuation hire. Definitely we were comfortable with the previous guy who decided to step aside. We're going to hire somebody who's different side of the ball, but otherwise very similar resume.
Well, that's what I was going to say, too. Like, obviously, McCarthy, very talented roster in Dallas. He could only win one playoff game. And, like, for me, I just feel like now was the perfect time to kind of right the ship and, like, build a new culture. But I feel like now we're kind of, like, taking steps back. Like, I've always felt like we're kind of, like, 15, 20 years, like, stuck in the past. And I feel like that hire kind of shows that. I feel like we're kind of scared to be bad right now and take a risk. And I feel like the Rooneys have always been that way.
Yeah, I think Art is definitely scared to be bad. The only thing, if I were trying to be positive in the slightest, Connor, that I would say he's at least done here is hired somebody with an offensive background, which I thought was necessary. But, I mean, only the Steelers could do that one little thing that I wanted them to do and do it in the least inspiring way possible. It's also hard to hire a guy with Mike McCarthy's overall resume, which is good, and have this many people be frustrated and angry about it. But that also speaks to what people wanted versus what they got here, which was they lift the lid on the fancy serving dish and there's nothing. Not what people wanted, that's for sure. Tim is on 93.7 The Fan. Hey, Tim.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Hey, I just want to run this by you. What do you think of hiring McCarthy, then maybe and bring in somebody like Shieldhouse and then maybe in a couple of years, McCarthy moves up in the chain of command of the Steelers, and Fieldhouse takes over.
I don't think Mike would want to go do a front office job, to my understanding. I think he likes to coach football, and that's pretty much his main thing. I mean, I said the best I could come up with here to try to squint and see a situation that didn't look really annoying to me was to imagine McCarthy kind of laundering a bad record for a couple of years, helping them find their next quarterback. And then by the time he's ready to move on, that quarterback might be starting to get going, and you can hire a guy to maybe take it to the next level. But all of that is admittedly kind of like wish casting on the situation. That's like hoping for an outcome that I don't actually believe in. Cody on 93.7 The Fan. Hey, Cody.
Hey. So I called in yesterday saying I was cautiously optimistic about Art Rooney hiring the right guy for the head coaching job, but leave it to Art to completely destroy even the smallest glimmer of hope I had for him and for the team by hiring the worst possible candidate for the job. I hope we're all prepared to continue the trend of mediocrity for the next 5 years minimum. But, hey, at least we might get 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers back on a one-year lease, or if not, maybe we'll go get 41-year-old Joe Flacco to complete the AFC North Infinity Gauntlet.
I think that I think the mediocrity you might see is at least different looking. They might lose a lot of games 38-35 if McCarthy actually can figure out a way to get whoever his quarterback is to produce like he has in the past.
My hope is that this is a modern-day Russ Grimm situation where there's a verbal agreement, but the tune changes last second. But like I said, that's my cope.
I was going to say, I've already ditched Cody, my cope, which was that Shieldhouse and Shula both quietly told them no. And so they moved on to option C and are just trying to present it as option A. And at least then I could, I wouldn't be happy, but I could live with it. But I even gave up on that pretty quickly. Annie in Fox Chapel, or Ann in Fox Chapel.
Hello.
Hi.
This is my first time calling in, and I would just want to tell you I've been a season ticket holder since 1973, and how disappointed I am that the Rooneys have made this decision. And I'm wondering if maybe the problem is with the leadership of the club, and that maybe there's a chance, is there any chance at all that the Rooneys might take a step back, or that we might get one of the other part owners of the Steelers to step in and take a little bit more active role?
And you've seen very good football in your years as a season ticket holder. I am about to turn 41 in a month and a half. I will be stunned, and thank you for the phone call. I will be stunned if a person with a last name other than Rooney is the principal owner and decision maker for this franchise in the rest of my lifetime, which I hope is at least another 40 to 45 years, let's say. I would be stunned. Last wraps, we'll try to squeeze one more in here when we come back, 412-928-9370. If you were calling in and did not make it on today, I apologize. I'll try to squeeze one more phone call in before the top of the hour. The Infinity Sports Network, no, I keep going, 0 for 1, 0 for 2. Westwood One Sports Network, yes, will be at the top of the hour here. Come on, Charlie, I'm never in to do this. I'm never in to do this part of things. We will get one more of your calls in, and then we will recuse ourselves, at least I will, until Monday at 2 o'clock. Take a quick break, be right back, get last wraps. Mike McCarthy, yes, that Mike McCarthy, your new Steelers head coach.
Hey, it's Pony back to tell you guys about Xfinity. When Team USA is on, you can almost see the moment a kid starts believing they could be next. Now, while Xfinity can't guarantee that, they can guarantee something just as important, that your internet price won't change for 5 years. That's right, no contracts or commitments. So while your kid is ordering gear online, streaming highlight reels, or video chatting with coaches, your Xfinity internet price won't budge. And who knows, by the time the next Olympic Winter Games roll around, your kid could be getting fitted for their very own Team USA uniform. That would be wild. And guess what? You'll still be paying the same price for reliable Wi-Fi. And there's even more to enjoy with the Xfinity Gold Medal celebration. Now through February 22nd, get your best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 a month value. Xfinity, imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary. To get started, call visitxfinity.com or drop into an Xfinity store today.
Text us on the Edgar Snyder and Associates text line at 412-928-9370. Edgar Snyder and Associates reminds you to text responsibly. Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan, built by Window Nation, home of the buy two, get two free offer.
Nobody ever wants to buy a new roof, but sometimes you just have to. Call the Pickle Gherkin Roofing. They answer the phone 24/7. There's no high-pressure home sales pitches, no BS, just quality, honest work at a fair price. They have 3 flexible pricing packages to fit any budget that's right for you. The Pickle is a Diamond-certified contractor with Atlas Shingles and offers a 50-year non-prorated warranty. Gherkin Roofing and Contracting. They are your local contractor for your next roofing, siding, or gutter project. Call thepickle.com.
Cheerleaders is Pittsburgh's premier gentlemen's club and sports bar. As soon as you arrive, you can feel the energy of the Cheerleaders experience. Cheerleaders has a 5-star kitchen that stays open late. Cheerleaders has been voted Pittsburgh's #1 gentlemen's club 12 of the 13 years they've been open. Cheerleaders now is Taco and Tequila Tuesdays. $2 tacos, $2 Coors Light bottles, $2 tequila drinks till midnight, and 2-for-1 private dances. The best happy hour specials in the city are at Cheerleaders Pittsburgh.
As a detective, I've solved many mysteries, but this one has me stumped.
Why does NJM Insurance remain silent in a world full of catchy jingles?
What are they up to? It's suspicious.
Yet their policyholders all agree.
NJM is amazing. When things go wrong, they do what's right.
But is the world ready for an ad break that's jingle-free? Tune in to Baffling Mysteries, where the story of the missing jingle unfolds.
This fictional podcast is brought to you by NJM. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, Pittsburgh! America's greatest hot rod tradition is back. The FuelRequired.com World of Wheels, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. January 23rd through the 25th at the David Lawrence Convention Center. See the country's top customs, hot rods, muscle cars, trucks, tuners, and more, including the ISCA Championship finalists. Catch the Dukes of Hazzard reunion with Cars and Stars. See the General Lee, Uncle Jesse's Truck, Cooter's Tow Truck, Daisy's Jeep, and Boss Hogg's Cadillac. Saturday, meet Catherine Bach and John Schneider. Sunday, meet Lou Graham, the original voice of the rock band Foreigner. The family will love the amazing Megamorph transforming robot car. The FuelRequired.com World of Wheels, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. This weekend at the David Lawrence Convention Center. Discount tickets available at O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Part of the Summer Racing Equipment Show Car Series. See WorldOfWheels.com for more info.
Your hometown building partner since 1956, 84 Lumber. Visit 84lumber.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Ring in the new year with a little magic from Spitzer Toyota Monroeville. Want a lifetime warranty and complimentary maintenance? Want rewards and an easy-to-use Spitzer VIP app? Granted. Want to lease a new 2026 Toyota Corolla LE from $165 a month? Granted. Hurry in and grant your New Year's wishes today. Wag more, spend less at Spitzer Toyota Monroeville.
At Spitzer, our world revolves around you.
TSRP 25,082. VIN 5YFB4 MDE 5TP 390565. 39 months. $4,099 due at signing through TMS with approved credit. Does not include title tax, license, registration, accessories, and dealer fees. $477 doc fee. Zero security deposit. 10K miles per year. See dealer for details. Ends 2/2/2026.
Time to get your home zero-resified with our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $119 plus a free hallway and take 15% off all regular services. Mention the 93.7 The Fan special. ZeroResPGH.com.
Hey, it's Andrew Filipony for the FanDuel Sportsbook, the official partner of 93.7 The Fan, the official sports betting partner of the NFL. FanDuel is turning on playoff mode, and all customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. So each game day during the championship round, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. More boosts means more ways to level up your playoff bets. Pick the matchups you believe in, take your shot on an upset, or build a parlay that fits the moment. I can't wait for the NFC Championship game. NFC West battle between the Seahawks and Rams Part 3. What a classic they played in Seattle for the 1 seed a few weeks weeks back, and I like the Seahawks again to reign supreme. The Rams have looked shaky. Now they're about to take on the most dominant team in the NFC. Give me Seattle to make it back to the big game. Visit FanDuel.com/Andrew and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. 21 plus in President, Pennsylvania. Opt-in required. Bonus issued is now. Double profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms. Sportsbook.FanDuel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
We're going to be so late for the concert at Point State Park. We should be there by now.
I just need to stop for gas real quick. I know a cheap place down Liberty Avenue.
Are you serious? We're gonna miss the show because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is great. It's a free app that gets you cash back when you buy gas.
Wait, you mean I can get money back just for buying gas?
Yep, and it really works. I've actually made around $200 this year already. Now pull over so you can download Upside before we miss the concert.
Pulling over. You had me at $200.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you buy gas in the Steel City. Use promo code PIT to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill up. Get the Upside app and use promo code PIT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code PIT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
I'm Walter Naylor, owner of a quick drain service. Since 1969, we've been going down the drain so you don't have to. We specialize in older home plumbing repairs and service. Trust us to get the job done right. Call 724-222-1095. Ask us about senior military and first responder discounts. License number PA074216. We serve the tri-state area with DOT-certified gas, water, and sewer line installations while offering a lifetime guarantee. aquickdrain.com.
The certified elder law attorneys at Julian Gray Associates understand the rules of long-term care and disability. They help families avoid mistakes and protect assets to maintain the best lifestyle options. You don't have to do this alone. Visit grayelderlaw.com.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Paramount Plus is the new home of UFC, and we're coming out swinging with UFC 324.
Oh, what a shot!
And 325 on back-to-back weekends. The new era is here. Every fight, bam! One subscription.
Oh my goodness!
Pay-per-view just got knocked out. Back-to-back blockbuster UFC events this month, only on Paramount Plus. Keeping you up to date, even on the weekend.
Did you hear that?
Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan, Pittsburgh's hometown sports station.
A very busy couple of hours here reaches its conclusion. Westwood One Sports Network at the top of the hour, or a little past. I want to get one more person on. He's been waiting patiently for a while. Travis is in Harrisburg. He wants to sound off on the Steelers hiring Mike McCarthy today, fourth head coach for the team since 1969, and certainly not the one I think most Steelers fans seem to want for the job. What's up, Travis?
Malzy, thanks for taking my call. I'm going to put this into maybe an analogy Pittsburgh fans, I think, understand. It's 3rd and 9, and Deontay Johnson has run a 5-yard out and has lost 4 yards on the reception. I'm out. Thanks, Malzy.
Goodbye. That's a perfect way to end it. I will say this as a last serious line. Thank you again to Charlie Borges, to Joe Starky, Mark Kabali, Donnie Chedrick, a.k.a. Donnie Football. I don't know why I called him by his real name. Never done that before on the air, probably. Andrew Filipony. Who am I forgetting? Adam Crowley as well. I had people offering to come on as well.
Jeff Hawthorne.
Jeff Hawthorne, thank you. He came on before he went to do a women's Pitt women's basketball game. People who offered to come on just couldn't fit them in, wanted to hear from the fans. Thank you to everybody who on the fly contributed to today's show. Joe Starkey's going to do a show here 12 to 2 tomorrow, so if you missed a chance to get your raps in with me, Joe will do that tomorrow. I will say one more thing just to leave you with this. For, I would say, the last 12 or 13 years, the Pittsburgh Steelers have been viewed very much as Mike Tomlin's franchise.
that everybody in that franchise, to one degree or another, falls in line with what Mike wants to do. Well, Mike decided he didn't want to be here anymore, and he walked away, which opened up a power vacuum. Art Rooney's always going to be the guy at the top, but I think this was the first major move of the Omar Khan administration, of Omar Khan, the power broker. And if the early returns from the public are any indication, Omar Khan has a lot of trust to win back and a lot of people to win over. And he had better hope that Mike McCarthy both has some new tricks up his sleeve and an answer at quarterback, or I think people are going to be really unhappy really quickly with the Steelers GM. I'll talk to you tomorrow, not tomorrow, excuse me.